so big. Too big. Let's there we go. That's about right. That's about right. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I am Sanish with my little glass of wine right here. Come get it. Let's see. Welcome to my 2-year anniversary stream. Woo. Okay, let me get things set up. I had a tragedy I'll need to talk about in a second. That's fine. Don't look at that. Ha. Okay, make this text updated. I was all ready until I had a just absolute tragedy just a moment ago. What the? Here we go. This is a 2022 Cabernet. And then we're gonna go here. We're gonna duplicate this real quick. Copy. Paste. And we're gonna say 2-year anniversary. Anniversary. Sorry. How do you spell anniversary? How do you spell anniversary? Anniversary. I got it right. Let's put it at the top here. 2-year anniversary. Woo. Properties. Wow, we made it. So let me start with my tragedy. My tragedy of this evening. During my last relationship, we bought a house together. We bought a townhouse together in the city of Snoqualmie, Washington. And part of purchasing that house, my parents, bless their hearts, gave us a housewarming gift, which was a case of wine. Lovely, quite nice. It was a broad selection of different wines, but one of the bottles had a note, and that note said, "Don't drink this right away." The note was essentially saying, "Take this wine, put it on the shelf, and drink it later." And I'm like, great, fantastic. So I took that bottle of wine. Dutifully, it was a 2016 Italian wine, I think. I took that bottle of wine. I put a note on it that said, "Drink this in 2022. Because that's when they said recommend to drink it. Like, fantastic, wonderful. I put that bottle down. I kept that bottle so long, it felt like this is a special occasion bottle of wine. And you can probably see where this is going. And then we didn't have a special occasion to drink it. None of our friends really drank wine at the time, so kind of like couldn't have friends over to drink it. And then 2022 came. 2022 passed. Didn't drink the wine. We broke up. I took the wine with me. Now it's 2023, 2024. Just breaking up our relationship. Not time for a celebratory bottle of wine. You want depression wine for that one. And so I go through and I carry it with me. I carry it to my next apartment. I carry it there for 2 years. I moved to my current condo and I keep it here for a while. And today I'm like, you know what? 2 years of streaming, that's something to celebrate with a nice bottle of wine for myself. So just now, 5 minutes before stream, I closed off Minecraft. I walk over to my kitchen. I pop open that bottle of wine. I pour it into the glass. And as I am pouring it, I'm like, that color doesn't look right. That color doesn't look quite the color I really want my wine to be. And I took a sip. I'm like, it's supposed to be a nicer wine. Tastes a little tangy, a little acidic. I believe the wine has gone a little bit bad, a little bit off. So turns out a 2016 bottle of wine meant to be drunk in 5 or so years does not last 10 years. Rip bozo, I'm the bozo. I feel bad in that, like, I've held this bottle of wine and held it in my head like this is a special bottle of wine, only to wait too long. Fortunately, the bottle of wine was only like, I looked it up and I looked up like, how long do you keep this bottle of wine? It was only like $45, which is like more than I spent on a bottle of wine for sure. So it wasn't like this was a $300 bottle of wine that was from a vintage from your birth year and we kept it for so long and it means so much. No. It was just a slightly nicer bottle of wine. Like, honestly, I can't really. I taste a marginal difference between like a $35 bottle of wine and a $45 bottle of wine. $80, like I can tell it's better, right? I can't tell it's like $50 better, you know? So instead, I have a nice bottle of Murphy Good 2022 Cabernet from QFC on sale for half off. For me, the 50% discount makes the wine taste better. It's like, what do you mean I can have this $25 bottle of wine for $12? I'll take two. And it's a screw top. Oh, the convenience of it. The absolute convenience of it. So I poured it in a different glass and I taste it. I'm just like, this is better. I did a quick Google. I'm like, how long does wine last? And it's like, usually commercial wines made in this last couple of decades only last 1 to 5 years. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, well, that's life. Now I'm only down to one special bottle of wine. Fortunately, that one was a bottle of wine my dad made that's supposed to be pretty good. That I need to drink probably like 6 months or so. I'll just wait for some wine guzzling friends to come over or go over to some wine guzzling friends' houses and be like, I bought a wine. Please say nice things about it. My father made it. The sad part of that is apparently the wine he made this year isn't very good. He's like, not great. Not tasting great. It's like, well, sometimes your homemade wine's shitty. Sometimes it doesn't always win gold medals or silver medals and your friends want to drink it. Sometimes you're just like, I have 24 cases of the cheap wine. That's life. That's my wine tragedy of this morning, or not this morning, of this like 10 minutes ago. I mean, I still have the glass. I might try it. Maybe just need to air out and it'll taste better, but I'm doubtful. I think this wine is gonzo. Would you say good? Because I don't actually like holding on to things until they feel special. Like, oh, it's my special occasion things, or I'm saving this for a special time, because I just never use them. I'm like, oh, this time isn't good enough. This isn't special enough. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. That's why I'm starting to just be like, well, you know what? We're doing it now. Because today is 2-year anniversary of streaming. Oh, so exciting. So exciting. I started February 4th, 2024. 2424. I guess it's 2424. Maybe I thought of something after all. Maybe I cooked a little bit in the past. Oh, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I did learn, what was it called? There is a holiday. So one of the Celtic Gaelic holidays called Imbolc. Imbolc. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it is apparently St. Bridget's Day, and it's the festival that lands between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's kind of like in the same bucket as like Samhain and Beltane, to celebrate like kind of like the first start of spring. But that's February 1st. And I'm like, God damn it, I could have had my anniversary be on February 1st and land on a cool Celtic holiday and lean into my Celtic heritage. Alas, I done goofed on that one. Also, I can't pronounce Gaelic words. They're so hard, but they're so cool. I mean, I say that, but like, between you and me, Sanish is a Gaelic word. Haha. But what can you do? You can't have a cool holiday. It's one of those holidays like, this was definitely a pagan holiday until the Christians came in and made it for a saint. But it's one that I learned about like 2 days ago. I'm like, oh, that's neat. If only I knew 2 years ago. But it is 2-year anniversary. I've been doing this for 2 years as a fun hobby. I've spent more on it than I have some other hobbies. I was about to say more than all my other hobbies, but then I looked at my desktop PC. I'm like, oh no, I spent more on that desktop PC. Then I'm like, oh, you know, my photography. I'm like, oh, I spent way more on camera gear. And I'm like, shit, maybe I've developed slightly expensive hobbies. Ha ha, ha ha ha. It would have been a discount cheap hobby if you ignored the current model in front of us. But you know what? I think I'm doing pretty good with. I've listed notes of things to talk about. One column is recent things in the life of Stanish. That's one column. It's column on the left. Middle column here is things to talk about one glass of wine in. Also known as the good stuff. And then I have just a note. This note about in bulk was the one I wrote. I got out of bed in the middle of the night, stumbled down my stairs to my desk, turned on a light, and scrawled down in bulk right here on my little notepad. Other celebrations. Was that I had hit a point where I paid off the mortgage of my condo. So this was the first month where I did not make a mortgage payment or a rent payment, which was honestly like, having been doing rent payments and mortgage payments on the first of the month for the last 16 years, seeing like my monthly, like my bank account spending trend be like, oh, first week of February, I only spent a couple $100s. Absolutely mind-blowing. It is, well, it's like $1,000. I still have to pay my HOA dues. But not having like $2,500 sucked out of my bank account start of the month, pretty nice. And that is one where one day I do want to do like a personal finance, fire, retire early, financial independence sort of like stream content, like walk through it all, because I didn't learn about it until I learned about it from a girlfriend, and then it like greatly changed my perspective on like finances. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you know about it, you're just like, oh, of course everybody knows about this thing, and you're like, wait a second, like a lot of people don't know about like retire early strategies, basic personal finance stuff, and all that. And there's like probably throwing money into like Lego stocks and like being like, all my retirements are in Labubus. It's a Labubu heavy portfolio. So something I want to talk about, but it's like, it's a weirdly it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, because personal finance is, as the word suggests, personal. It's also kind of weird. It's a weird vibe to do it as a VTuber and a streamer, when I know a lot of people are trying to do streaming content creation to like just get by, like just scrape by. So talking about it from not that side of things, as I'm like, oh, I work a tech job and this is my hobby, is a little like, I guess I worry about coming across like not tone deaf, but just like inconsiderate. But there's probably an audience out there who could benefit from it, especially if you're a younger audience. Like if you're like early 20s, I'm going to say 19, maybe 18. If you're under 18, we'll all pretend everyone here is over 18. It's for the best for all of us. Everyone lies. If you look, sidebar, if you were under 18 and you're on the internet, just lie that you're 18. Just lie. No one knows. No one's going to know. No one's going to know. That little drop down on that website, say you're born 1907. I've been doing it for years. I don't have to do it anymore, but I still do it. Because one, I know it messes with people. I've sat in meetings where like some confused Gen Xers are like, why aren't people putting their real birth age into our drop down menu? Why are people saying they're born January 1st, 1901? I just don't understand how this could happen. Why would somebody do that? Why are there so many birthdays in the first of the month? Doesn't make sense. Or the start of a decade? Like that can't be right. Must be an issue with the data. And I've had to sit down with people and be like, look, guy, people on the internet lie about their age. They've lied about their age since the birth of the internet. Since we all got on here, when we all logged into AOL in 1997, and it said, are you over the age of 13 or 18 or whatever it said, or do you have your parents' permission? We all just click yes. We didn't even finish reading that box. We just hit yes, check that box, move on. So anyway, But financial advice, personal finance advice, way useful, very useful at every age, but extremely useful when you're younger, because then you can like make use of compound interest. But that's not for today. That's just a side note in my thing of like one day talk about this. Maybe when I eventually quit my job, I'll do a personal finance slash here's how much money I made in my career and why you should all negotiate to get paid more, and everyone should get paid more. That's my hot take there real quick. So anyway, I paid off my mortgage. That was exciting. I'm also at the point where I can quit my job if I want. Ha 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 ha. I'm not there yet because I still like buying things. But I think it's the only thing to celebrate. All right, let's talk about some recent things as I drink this wine, as I have this lovely wine and this lovely non-corked bottle of wine. It got corked. What do we got here? What do we got in this? So one. Oh man, it's all my good notes tie back to this column that says, after one hour in, after a glass of wine, talk about this. So I think one thing I'll talk about, every now and then, I look at my current lifestyle and I reflect that how I'm living my life now is in some ways very similar to how I've always lived my life. Like what I do and my a lot of my hobbies and like how I go about the day-to-day stuff is like very similar to how I've always done. But there's some aspects where if you told me like, one second, I keep clipping. My ear keeps clipping. I don't want my ear to clip. If you told me like, if you told a young Sanish, nary 30 decades on this God's green earth, that like some of these aspects of my life would be true, I would be absolutely stunned and flabbergasted. I would be just like shook to my very core. And like one of the big ones I'm still like surprised by, it was a journey to where I got now. It wasn't an instant overnight thing, but like going from having like 0 to 1 friend. Like if you took Sanish circa 2015, let's say 2015 Sanish, I had my wife, now ex-wife, end of list. Like that was like my social circle. It was a very codependent marriage in that way. And at the time, I just thought it was normal. I just thought like, this is how things are and it's totally fine. Definitely fine. I'm definitely not seeking escapism by binge playing Final Fantasy 14. No. Who would do that? Oh, these 700 hours of Civilization 4? Where did those come from? Nobody knows. Nobody could ever know. It's a complete mystery how some of us had coping mechanisms of that sort in that parts of our lives. But I like 0 friends. My wife, now ex-wife, friend. That's we can say at the start. Maybe change a bit towards the end, but that's like a decade ago, ish, half a decade to today. Where like last weekend, this is the part like I thought about this driving back on Sunday. I set up and planned 2 social events that got 12 plus people to show up to both of them. I said, hey, anyone interested in doing a cocktail bar crawl? 13 people showed up. Then that was on Friday night. Then on Sunday, I'm like, hey, anyone interested in going ice skating? And I think like 14 people showed up to that. And like upcoming, I'm having friends over on for dinner on Saturday. And then I have a friend's birthday karaoke event on Sunday. And do I have something on Friday? I don't think I have something on Friday. But I'm just like, my weekends are now full of all these social activities. I'm like, how did this happen? How did I go from like 0 friends if I wanted to like rustle up like another person to like get a meal, it would have been impossible. It would have been like drawing blanks or like stabbing myself in the eye trying to like rekindle an acquaintance I had at this job. Like it would have been awful. It would have been awful. But it's something like an amazing, like not amazing, hard. It took a lot of effort to get to where I am now. I'm like changing habits, changing interaction patterns, finding people, finding spaces. Oh, that was hard. And I'm exceedingly grateful for it. Like the fact that I now have like at least two separate social groups is like amazing. Honestly, it's amazing to me. I'm just like how fortunate I have become to have all my friends in my life and have that available, because I didn't before. So I know what it's like not to have. I know some people have had like their friends groups are very appreciative, but they've always had them. And going from not having them to having them, it's just like, this is amazingly better. This is just like, who knew? I always said, I'm like, oh, I'm introverted and I don't care for socializing. I don't like these things. And all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, now that I have friends, no. I do like this. This is nice. I was gaslighting myself and trying to soothe my little lonely foxboy head. But now, socializing. Very strange shift to make. So that was an observation on like a long-term journey that's like not come to fruition, but just be like, damn, suddenly got friends. What's with that? And being a foxboy VTuber has not driven any of them away, strangely enough. They now probably know way more about me than I care to think about, though. I sometimes in the middle of the night wake up and I reflect on what I've talked about and shared on stream. And I'm just like, what have I done? What have I done? I'm like, these are things I would never tell anyone in person. I have not told my family. I would not find a therapist and tell them. And here I am just like, publicly on the internet? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do it. In fact, I'll probably do it in like 45 minutes. I know. Also, I found this little wine, this little wine glass prop. And like, I just realized as I was talking right there, that's exactly where I am holding my wine glass. So, social events. First, let's back up. We're going to roll back. Let's roll back. 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, I had a... Let's go. 3 months ago. 3 months ago, one of my dear friends, she posted, we have a local Discord server. It's about 80 people. She posted and says, anyone interested in going with me platonically to my company holiday party? And for me, that idea sounded like the absolute bee's knees. So I was in a tight running with another friend who was interested in going as her +1. And I won out because I said, I will purchase a suit to go to this holiday party, to go to this cocktail party full of absolutely normie people as your +1, because it sounds great. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like not like going by myself. Absolutely not. No way would I ever do something on my own. Would I go to my own company holiday party? No. Going as a friend +1 with suspect goals? Absolutely. Not suspect goals like that. No. Suspect goals in the way of what sort of rumors can I start among her coworkers, sort of suspect goals. So I got a suit in December. Looks great, fits wonderfully, costs a lot of money. I don't think about that too deeply. Got it. Thank you, Nordstrom, flagship Nordstrom store, for making it like 15-20 minutes to get in, get a suit picked out, get all measured up, left, come back the next week, pick up the suit. Great. I will say though, trying to carry a suit and a garment bag on a windy day onto a Seattle city bus, a little awkward. Should I have driven in instead of taking the bus to pick up a suit from Nordstrom in downtown Seattle? Perhaps. Do I prefer to take the bus? Not really. Do I prefer to not drive? Yes. Absolutely. So anyway, I got the suit. Holiday party rolls in. It was like late January, I think. There's a moment there where she was sick and she was like, there's a chance I have to cancel. I'm like, it's fine to cancel. It's what's it called? JOMO, joy of missing out, where you're just like, oh, if I have this evening booked out for this event, and if it gets canceled from no cause of my own, then I just have a free evening to binge watch some anime, maybe read some light novels, maybe binge play some Genshin Impact or some other game. Delight. But it wasn't canceled. So the two reasons. Two reasons I was looking forward to this event. One of them, my friend, I'm pretty sure she could have guessed. She could have guessed this one. See how many of her coworkers could I convince, not explicitly, but get them to assume that we were dating. Goal one. I got at least one. I know for absolutely sure one that thought we were dating. Did not correct them. Get those rumors started. Rule two, second goal, which she did not realize until I was at the door of the venue with her after picking her up. You know how you make friends. If anyone here is on Discord or on the internet, which if you're watching a Foxboy VTuber drink wine on a Wednesday night, yeah, it's probably your audience. It's probably your audience. Your friends have their internet screen name, their online name, right? Everyone has an online name. And that's oftentimes how you get to know somebody. And the primary way you identify them in your head, I have a lot of my friends who the primary way I identify them is their screen name, right? I have a friend who calls me Stanish, and I respond to it just fine. And so you have some friends who you just know their screen name. You have friends who you have their online name and like their online handle and their real name, and you call them one or both. And you have some friends where you know their online name and you know their full legal government name, but you have never once called them by their government name. You have never once said their government name. And you think one day you realize in your little heart, your black heart of hearts, your shriveled, callous heart, that you need to reserve the first time you use their government name for the most opportune jump scare possible. Absolutely, you gotta time that, you gotta pick your moment. I held on to this government name for over like a year, not using it, just sitting on it, waiting for the perfect opportunity. And I had this cocktail party, I'm like, God damn it, I have it. It's gonna be perfect. Because obviously it's their work. Everyone at their work knows them only by their government name. So I got to spend the entire evening calling my friend by her government name, and she hated it. She hated it so much. It made my night. Absolutely made my night. I started off with government name. You look lovely tonight. In that moment, she knew she was cooked. She was cooked for the evening. My name tag even just said like my name and then like so-and-so's government names +1. It was great. Again, I would never go to my own holiday party. I've been to one of my holiday parties. Not good. Did not care. My partner time liked it and enjoyed it. Me, it's like if they're your coworkers, if they're your coworkers for several years and you've not become friends with them yet, like a holiday party is just like hanging out with people you don't want to spend time with already, and now you're spending time with them anyway. Like, not great. So the dynamic at this holiday party, a lot of younger than I expected. That's a plus. More diverse than I expected, also a plus. But we ended up sitting at a table for food. Got food, sat down at like an 8-person table. And then the funniest thing happened. In looking back, I'm like, I could have predicted this. All the employees of the company were relatively quiet. It was everybody's +1s were talking to each other. So it was me, someone else's +1, a couple other +1s. We were the ones who were all talking, while the actual employees of the company were relatively on the quiet side. Now, I don't know if there's a selection bias of like the people who get into this particular field are on the quieter side, but I don't think that's the case. I just think it's like, if I was with a bunch of my coworkers, I want to talk to their plus ones. I won't want to talk to them. I see them in meetings and things for work purposes. Ugh, the worst. And like, I'm not going to go to a company event and be the like, oh, did you see Standish got completely trashed on wine at the company event? No, I'm not going to do that. But it was a delightful experience. I got to spend time with a friend. I got to jump scare them with their government name. I met some people and hopefully started some rumors. I heard some gossip about someone who might be interested to a coworker's brother. That was some fun gossip to get. I was like, can you please tell government name to give them an update so they can update me on this, whether or not this person's brother is single, because I need to know now. I need to know, where's that tea? Where's that hot goss? I need those details. I need that drama. And that's a problem. That's a problem I have. I made a very concerted effort to remove drama from my life, because I was married to some drama. I was married to someone who got involved in drama in a very emotional, cry a lot, I have to comfort them sort of way. Did not care for it. Do not care for it in the slightest. I've been secondhand or gotten some drama, and I'm like, I don't care for that. I want some like low stakes drama, secondhand maybe perhaps, or in the past drama that's over. Age is like a fine wine. Tell me about that shitty person who went on a weird date with. Great. Oh, they just like set their head down on the table during a date to take a nap. Great. Oh, wonderful. Makes me feel great. So that was early February. That was great. That was a wonderful time. I enjoyed that immensely. That was couple weeks. I had to cancel. It hit normally when I do chatting streams. So that's why I was like top of mind. I'm like, oh yes, I canceled for this holiday party. The other one. So the bar crawl I went to last Friday, which interrupted the chatting stream again. Go back, sorry. I had a holiday party. I had one drink. I was driving. It was fine. Friday, it was a bar crawl within walking distance of where I lived. I may have had two too many drinks. But this is a journey I need to go on. One of my friends, sitting next to her, different friend sitting next to her. And right now I'm growing my hair out. I've been growing my hair out for a while, not for about a year. About 10 months. And currently my hair I'm tied up right now. It's like back hair is like shoulder length. The hair on top of my head is maybe chin length. But it's getting to the point where it's a lot. There's a lot of it. It's thick. It's brown hair. What can I say about it? But it's just straight. It's just straight down kind of hair. Curls and flips a bit in the edge, but that's like this, not here or there. But I need to get it cut. I need to think about this. I need to seriously sit down. But one of my friends, she turned to me. This was at the end of the evening. So I was gone. I was cooked at this point. And she looked at my hair. She's like, what are you doing with this? Gesturing at my hair. And she said that like she was going to take my hair on as a personal project. And like, I'm both appreciative of advice of what people think would look good with my hair, but fearful when someone gestures at my hair and says, this is a project I want to take on, especially when that person is very French. It is very concerning. Very concerning. She started on her phone looking up haircuts for me. And pretty much, I was pretty much told by 2 people, maybe 3, that I need to go and get my hair in a wolf cut. I just need to get a wolf cut, which I have still not looked up. I have a vague idea what a wolf cut is. I'm looking at right now, wolf cut for men. And oh, maybe not some of these. Oh, those ones aren't bad. And it's something I need to. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, I just googled this, and some of these are clearly mullets. Some of these are clearly not a wolf cut. That is a mullet. That is a mullet with an undercut. I need to find out which ones in particular that they think this would be a good wolf cut. Get the fox cut. Exactly, get the fox cut. And then other friend kind of like was looking at my hair, and she just said, she's like, you need to use more product. It was like dead in the face, dead serious. Like, you need to use more hair product in that like, you know, when someone ever tells you like you need to do something, or like they're recommending it, and like there's this motion they're clearly about to take their phone out to send you hair product recommendations. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready for this. But it is a journey I need to take this year, is to figure out what I'm doing with my hair. It's gotten to a point where, like, on the plus side, it's long enough now I can use hair ties. However, I can only use hair ties if I make them into twin tails. So I can do short little twin tails on either side of my head. And it doesn't look great. It doesn't look bad. Okay, it looks kind of bad. It looks kind of bad. However, when I first did it, I pulled my hair into little twin tails on the other side of my head. All of a sudden, my hair was out of my face and off like my neck, and I was just like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Because I've had some days in the last couple of weeks where I'm just like, I'm going to shave it all off. I'm going to go back to like 1.5 inch long hair and go back to just like generic, I'm a 38-year-old man haircut. But I'm like, part of me is like, no, my hair is not gray yet. I need to like grow it out and do something. And so I need to get a wolf cut. I need to spend the $100+ wherever it is to get a quality, not a great clips wolf cut. And then if I tell myself, if at that point I hate it, I can always cut it back shorter. I can always cut it shorter to generic boy haircut. I don't really want to though, because there's like this stage of length where I like kind of the shape of it, but it's hella annoying. And so I think I just need to do something like get bangs cut so that my bangs are like kind of this length, right? Like kind of like down to nose. It's the hair on the side that gets me. Oh, the hair on the side. So I need to invest in product. I think that's the big thing. I only have like a pomade right now that works when my hair is short, but does not work when my hair is long. I'm like, I need new product. No, I was told I need to moisturize. So that was a bar crawl. And the next day, or next 2 days at ice skating, I have another friend. He's about my age. For a while there, we had similar looking haircuts, and we both had like beards going to some degree. And then I shaved off my beard to go clean shaven, and then he shaved off his beard to go clean shaven. And now we've both grown our hair out to the point where like two people independently mistook him for me at an ice skating event. And I'm like, look, do all handsome men in their 30s look the same to you? The answer is yes, they do. I'm like, oh, okay. But he was giving me, we got into a hair care discussion, which look, I'm gonna say it. Having a hair care discussion with one drunk woman, two drunk women, is very different than having a sober haircut with a straight guy. Very different hair care discussions. You know, there's some overlap, but it is a different vibe. Where there's pretty much, he was asking me like, how much shampoo are you using? I'm like, oh, I use like, he's like, no. He's like, take a pea-sized amount of shampoo in your hands, do this. He was like, I was getting the full hand motions involved. Do this, wash one hand of shampoo off, work that in, do that every other day and nothing more. And I'm like, shit, man, that sounds like greasy. And he's like, the texture will be better, it'll feel better. And I need to actually try it. I'm a little scared to try it. But it was a funny like difference in approach to the haircut, where it's like, oh, let's talk. Like, it's kind of like, here's some suggestions when you're ready to talk about it, versus like directive, like being told what to do. I'm like, okay, handsome man, I'll do that to my hair. I need to do that. I need to start that soon. And then part of me realized like, oh, I can save money on shampoo that way, which is probably not the best angle to take. But I was rebuying a bunch of house, like buying hand soap and dishwasher detergent. I'm just like, it's so boring buying these things. Like spend less money on boring things like this without getting like cheap products. That'd be nice. So that was a funny moment. I did have to, like, after that ice skating event, couples went to get ramen, and as I was like leaning down to eat my ramen, my hair is falling in my face, and well, not quite there. I did the anime like tie your long hair back before you eat, like slurp down your ramen trope. I didn't have a hair tie. I did it with a shit ton of bobby pins. But I had that moment of like putting my hair up to eat my ramen. I'm just like, yes, another anime trope done. Because that's really my life goal here. Really, my life goal is to checklist every anime trope I can find, except for getting hit by Truck-kun. Don't want that. No. Eat a piece of toast, run around the corner, and run into somebody who becomes love of my life. Unlikely, but you know what? Open to it. Trying to eat more toast and run around more corners still. Maybe Sakura-con, that'll happen. I'll just be like in a short skirt maid outfit, going around a corner real fast, eating a croissant I paid $10 for, and I'll run into somebody. Oh, I'll do a quick sidebar on that. I got a new cosplay for Sakura-con, which is a Seattle-based anime convention, and it's based on another VTuber, Mint Phantom. I got a Mint Phantom cosplay because it went up for sale. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I need to get this. Because I did a maid outfit last year, and this year I'm like, this is it. I'll get this one. It's much fancier, much higher quality, a lot higher quality. Like $15 to $100 sort of quality jump in materials. Like, oh, this isn't just a thin piece of polyester. But I got it a couple months ago. This is in April. I got this cosplay. I put it on. I had it on. It was a tight fit. Because sometimes you're taking measurements and you're trying to judge online. Let me tell you, fellas, if you're trying to buy women's clothing online, sizing is hard. Sizing is hard as shit because you generally don't have a bust. And it's like, oh, what's your bust? And I'm like, is that the under bust measurement or the bust measurement? Like, I need to know. I have like those some of the measurements on those garments hit me in the ribs instead of the waist, so it is very hard sometimes to get it right. So I barely fit. Like that last 2 inches of zipper on this outfit is a trial. Fortunately, the side zip, the back zip I have, oh, nightmare. So I got it on, and I'm looking in my little mirror. I'm looking in my mirror at the fit. I'm like, it's looking pretty good. I didn't try the wig on yet. I'm spooked to try the wig on. That's coming down the line. But I was looking at the mirror, and I looked at it, and I realized I need to get something underneath this skirt, or else I will get kicked out of Sakura-con. Namely, I need something not obviously like I'm wearing a pair of jorts under here. But about a week ago, I got a dance belt in the delivered, which I did not know existed as a thing. Took a lot of risky googling to find this product. Essentially, it is a undergarment for ballet dancers, for male ballet dancers, that is meant to keep everything relatively snug and relatively Ken-dolled, I suppose would be a way to put it. And I got one. It fits, so I'm not going to flash anybody at the convention center. So I'm pretty pleased to have that all set up and all that all ready for a couple months. That was a quick sidebar on that thing. So I mean, I still will be wearing a very short skirt, but it'll be safe. It'll be safe, marked safe from the world, which is. Did I talk about this? On the same topic, let me just go here. I'm checking my Widow calendar. Check my Widow calendar here. When was the last time I had a chatting stream? Okay, got covered. The other thing I'm doing prep for this cosplay is I started doing laser hair removal on my legs. I think I talked about it before the last a chatting stream where I got knee down done. I'm going to do knee up next time. But when you get laser hair removal, you shave everything. Wherever you want to get lasered, they laser it. Great, wonderful, fantastic. As my leg hair started growing back, as leg hairs want to do, and this hasn't happened before, and it's kind of funny. Like, so sometimes with the laser hair technician, they take like a little blue pencil, and essentially like draw a grid on you so they know where to go and where to laser. And they clearly missed a grid section because I just had like this square of hair that was growing at a very, very different rate than the rest of everything else. And I noticed it like a week ago. I'm just like, that is weird. That's weird. But that's something I will get done. Hopefully it will help with my cosplay. Let's get my cosplay, my general life satisfaction. So that was a funny moment. Oh, I got this canceled. Never mind that. It's my next year's journey. So my wine chat section is essentially going through the list of why I started VTubing, how's it going, what I like, next year's goals, and kind of like a look back in the last couple of years of my personal life lining up with VTubing and what I look forward to going forward. So some things I have here have been kind of like tucked away under that section. I can get all those things in here. Do I want to talk about that? I'm almost on this glass of wine, which is part of the problem here. I've started I mentioned this before about the concept of mixing friend groups. Not concept, but like doing it effectively, right? Like I have a D&D group that I'm intermixing two friends of a different friend group into. And we're still a couple months out from starting, but it's one of those like, will this go okay? Or will everyone, my fear is like, I try to mix two friends groups and both sides will be like, Sanders, how dare you? Those friends did not vibe with us at all, and now we all hate you. I'm very insecure socially is what it comes down to. But I started a Minecraft server because I've been wanting to play Minecraft for a while now because there's been a lot of updates. I saw Hytale came out and kind of like rekindled my interest. But I was thinking about Hytale, and then it's still early access, and they're still updating things, and there's like 5 to 6 years of Minecraft content I haven't looked at, plus like 4 years before that I haven't really done. And also I bought a all-in-one little mini PC to host my virtual tabletop game for Dungeons and Dragons. And so I'm like, well, I bought this little mini PC, so if I host a Minecraft server on it, I'm effectively making better use of my money, I said, to justify my spending habits. So I set up a Minecraft server. And the two things I noticed. First off, trying to get a group of friends, anyone, to agree on the settings for a Minecraft server is a just horrifyingly fraught activity. It's like taking a group of people and being like, hey, everybody, let's all agree on the toppings we should get for our one pizza. Someone's going to be upset. Someone's going to cry. Someone's going to leave in disgust. And someone's going to suggest, like, why are we even ordering pizza? We should order something else. And you're like, I didn't even invite you to order pizza. Why are you participating in this discussion? But I took the approach, and I've seen these discussions before, and this is the approach I take with a lot of my social events. And one thing I've learned to make me not hate the process is, instead of trying to get alignment and agreement on what to do with people, I just say, here's this thing I want to do. If anyone's interested and would like to join, I would be over the moon to have you join me in this experience. But if not, I'm happy to do it on my own. Kind of like how I approach a lot of these things now. And that has worked much better for my mental health and not causing me to burn out and trying to like get agreement with people. So Minecraft server, I'm going to start a Java Minecraft server. It's going to be pure vanilla. Here are the settings. I'll be starting on this date. There will be an HOA. There'll be regulations you must follow or you will be banned. And I started up. I spent 3 hours getting a seed. And I opened up to one friend group to get them going, and then I opened up to a second friend group. So now I have 2 different friend groups who can interact on this server, and I am terrified. I'm absolutely terrified about like how people will feel, how people interact. Because like mostly, I don't know what this says about me as a person. A lot of my friends have a slight little troll streak in them to varying degrees, a little bit of griefing perhaps in their past. And so I'm like, look, I want you all to be on this server together. I want to play on server. I love the idea of having like a community village in a Minecraft server where we all like build our little house and we build like a community center and we build like, oh, I made this cool automation people can use, or let's all go on this adventure. Like, oh, I made a rail network. Do you want to tap into my rail network? Like having these like grand infrastructure projects combined with like adventures together or helping somebody out. We have at least one person who's brand new to Minecraft, has never played Minecraft. So I'm like, I want to get everyone to play together, but I'm afraid of, I guess I'm afraid of theft and property damage. I'm afraid of theft and property damage. And I've realized that like, some New World. How are you playing New World? New World shut down. I'm afraid of property. So I have HOA regulations in place. And they've already been altered. My signs have been detrimented. I made a rule. I made some simple rules like no Uggo houses. And the first person who joined, before they even built their own house, they slapped a sign on my house that says HOA violation, Uggo house. And I was like, how dare you? One, they were right. Two, how dare you use my own HOA against me? So I demolished my house and I rebuilt it to be better. I abide by the HOA of my Minecraft server. But I hope people get along. I hope people can be adults. If not, I'll start banning people left and right and just have the server for myself. Wait, they're running New World to January 31st? That's wild. I thought they shut the server down. Rest in peace, the people I knew who went to work on New Worlds. You shouldn't have left us. How dare you? New World, Siobhan, that's a good name for a New World character. New World's kind of like colonial. Get a good like what's a good like Amish name? Jebediah. Go with Jebediah Miller. Go with Bartholomew Bartok. Go with a Andreas Andreas Antidote. The problem is I reuse a lot of names in D&D campaigns. I don't want to go. Arthur. I'm a big fan of Arthur as a name. Not Arthur. Arthur. Arthur Bendragon. Good old Arthur. My go-to antagonist character in D&D. I love Arthur. And I will, my plan is to eventually stream some of this Minecraft on stream. I have to go through all the signs to make sure no one's using my government name. I have to turn off chat so people can't dox me. Because some of my friends, bless their hearts, are very good at not doxing me anymore. I'm looking at some of you who I know are here. But others don't have that same like dox mentality in place yet. And it's a hard thing to learn to like add, like refer to someone by 1 to 3 different names. It's hard, man. It's hard. I get that. It's like whenever we had social events at the very start, Adam Lightwing's pretty good. Adon, change one letter though. Change one letter. Bdam Lightwing, Adon Lightwing, Adarm Lightwing. Hey, I have 4, I guess if you count that D&D character. Sanish, Artemis, 4. But like in-person events for like for people you met online in Discord, it's like you have to remember their I'm guilty of this, their screen name, their user handle, which you might know them by, and then if you introduce yourself to like, if they bring a +1 who's not online, I sometimes introduce myself by my like government name instead of my Discord handle, and it just confuses everybody. Fun stuff. But my Minecraft server, I spent like 2 hours like seed save scumming to find like a good starter seed, because I wanted like a nice forest, I wanted some water, I wanted nearby cherry trees, I wanted some snow, and mostly I wanted cherry trees. I built a cherry tree house and like a nice farm. Right now the campaign is to get, I have one friend who, he has never played Minecraft, but the way he plays Valheim is, I'm not going to say like a psychopath, because this is a very empathetic, caring individual, but like he uses trolls as manual labor to clear fields. You'd log in and he'd be like, here's my pit of 200 Draugr, just shoot him with arrows to get experience. Or like, here's my horrifying factory farm for pigs in Valheim. And I'm like, my friend, do I have a game for you if you are interested in inhumane factory farming practices? I learned there's a Minecraft contraption only in Java called a crusher. It's called a meat crusher, where apparently this doesn't work in Bedrock, but in Java, if you like cram too many enemies together in one square block, they'll start doing collision damage and killing each other. But there's like a preferential order, so you do it with cows, and like the adult cows are killed preferentially over the baby cows. So you just like have more and more cows in a very, very tight, close space until they start suffocating each other. And that's how you create a cheap meat farm. It's great, good times. Once we get into like villager mechanics, we're going to go into a dark place. I put in the HOA rules, light war crimes only. Light war. Oh, I did have somebody, we have a pretty firm rule that stemmed from a Valheim server like a couple years ago, called no crank shacks. Like, just don't make any crank shacks. And that's one of our HOA rules. And someone says like, what's a crank shake? And I'm like, oh, sweet summer child who doesn't know what a crank shack is. Sorry, friend. I'm not going to explain what a crank shack is. The name kind of self-explanatory. These rules were written in blood and other things. Ugh, disgusting. Now we have Truck Nuts Mountain or something. I tried to make like, oh, let's have a fantasy whimsy roleplay event. And my friend comes in and he's like, this is Truck Nuts Mountain. I'm like, what can I do? And I'll give everyone a tour at some point of Truck Nuts Mountain and other abodes. Cherry House by Sanish, a very, very demure art. Frank Lloyd Wright would be proud of my incorporation of nature into my housing structure. It's a tree house. I made a tree house with some cherry trees. Oh, you're right. It is Fuck Nuts Mountain with 2 T's. I'm told explicitly for branding purposes, there's 2 T's in Fuck Nuts Mountain. Which, to be fair, it's honestly, it's not bad. It has got a style. This is a friend who has spent like hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Planet Coaster, so like decorating in a virtual world, he's not bad at. I know for a fact though he doesn't watch these streams, so I can say whatever I want. It's when you have a friend who does watch these streams, you're like, let me be careful what I'm going to say here to the public. So getting that Minecraft server set up, it's been fun. I will stream it at some point, maybe in between Baldur's Gate 3. I've committed a lot on streaming with keeping check there, doing daily piano streams for 20-30 minutes. Like, it's good, I'm liking it, but like, it's a lot to do. It's an extra like 2.5-3 hours of streaming plus prep work. Probably takes like 4 hours of streaming, and like I have limited time in the day. Well, I'll be fair. To be fair, I do most of this during my job, during my working daylight hours where I don't actually do any work, and I'm kind of seeing how long I can go. It's not like the people I work with are competent. They're not. How are we still employed? I don't know. It's at the Minecraft store. Oh, I have this note here, and I need to say this because some people, if you're from the Midwest, you'll understand this. Or from the East Coast, you'll understand this. Growing up, a young fox boy, something I loved, and I've always loved. So, let me tell you the origin story. in the town I grew up, when I was a wee barn in the California town of Rohnert Park, California, a planned suburban community in the northern Bay Area. There was a grocery store. There's a grocery store called Roger Wilco, was the name of the grocery store. And I would say I'm going to dox myself, but I'm not going to dox myself in this process. And they had a deli counter. And one thing they sold at the deli counter was mozzarella sticks. And what my mother, bless her heart, would do is we'd go to Roger Wilco as a kid, my brother and I, my mother. We'd be 2 4-year-olds, 5-year-old boys in a shopping cart or running around amok. Probably running amok if I'm being honest with everybody here. She would buy a carton of like a dozen mozzarella sticks from the deli. First thing, she'd hit that grocery store, she'd hit those mozzarella sticks. And then, as we were shopping, she would eat the mozzarella sticks and give us the mozzarella sticks to partake of as well. And little voice in my little quick sidebar. As a child, I was, my music don't go? Oh, I only picked an hour-long stream because it was a new one. Let's go. I want, give me. No copyright. Yeah. She would give us as a kid, up until 3rd grade, I was pure lawful good. Like rules, you follow rules. You follow things. There's a right order to do everything's black and white. There's no nuance. And so my mom buying these mozzarella sticks and she's given to us always bothered me as a kid because they're like, oh, you can't eat these. You haven't paid for them yet. Or you'd buy like a bundle, like a package of grapes and she'd eat some of the grapes on the way to the store. My mom is not lawful. My mom is not lawful in any way. But then she'd like bring the empty container of mozzarella sticks and pay for them when she checked out, and it was fine. But that started my love of mozzarella sticks. I love mozzarella sticks. I think they are one of my easily top 5 foods. Easily top 5 foods. So that in mind, we were at a pub. A bar we've been to in a bar called a couple times. I thought nothing of it. Went a couple times. Then one friend from the Midwest was like, they have cheese curds on the menu. And I'm like, okay. Like, I have to get the cheese curds. So we go. They go to order cheese curds and they're out. They're out of them. And this is background to me. In someone else's journey, someone else's plight. I don't think of anything of it. Circled about 4 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try these cheese curds. This individual from the Midwest seemed very much into them. And I was like, I will give them a try. I've had them twice now. I've had them twice in my life. And if anything happens to deep fried cheese curds, I will kill everybody and then myself. Like these things are essentially a better form of mozzarella sticks. Don't at me. At least at this particular venue. It's like a basket. There's some marinara sauce. They're essentially like, for those who don't know, like myself, some people may be like, of course I know what deep fried cheese curds are. I didn't know. So I'm sharing, instead of mozzarella, the cheese curd, which I assume is some sort of soft, fresh white cheese that's kind of melty. Look, I love cheese, and there are facets of cheese production I do not want to know about. I've never had poutine. Oh, I've had bad poutine once. I'll take it back. I think poutine's like a Eastern Canada thing and not a Western Canada thing. If you're a Canadian in chat, please don't come at me. They're essentially like 1/2-inch long mozzarella sticks that are lightly melty. They're hot, and they're like, it's going to sound weird if you don't like cheese, lightly juicy in a very positive way. Juicy in a positive way. Oh, real poutine has cheese curds on it? So I don't know about only if the cheese curds are deep fried. Like if it's just like uncooked, undeep fried cheese curds. Like I like caprese salads, and I love string cheese. So I'm not like string cheese also like, ooh, string cheese probably top 10 food. I love string cheese as a kid. I love string cheese as an adult. And it is hot though. I do like hot mozz. Hot mozz is pretty. Hot cheese is great. I for a while there, I was dating somebody who's lactose intolerant, and so the amount of cheese in my life dwindled significantly. And I am a little bit introducing a little more cheese back into things, you know? Up until the fact that I need to I'm 38 now, and there's some food items you should not probably eat at the same volume you did when you were younger. Cheese might be one of them. However, this basket of cheese curds, I will say, being like 4 or 5 drinks in, getting a hot basket of cheese curds, mwah, a delight, a whimsical delight. One of my friends is he has to return to office nearby, and so once he does, we're probably gonna go to like after work things or lunch together. I'm taking this man to these cheese curds. This is a man who needs some cheese curds in his life. You know how I know he needs cheese curds? Everyone needs these hot deep fried cheese curds. Are you lactose intolerant? You pop that lactate, you tuck into these cheese curds. Delightful. Absolutely delightful. I like how one of my notes here is just like cheese curds. Talk about cheese curds. I'm like, fucking love cheese curds. Okay. I've only had these ones. I love these cheese curds. This could be one of those foods. I feel like I've had food, or I've had like one instance of it, and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. And then you have like another one, you're like, nope, that particular one was the best thing I put in my mouth. This other version is just okay. I feel that way about like any sort of hand pie, like a pasty, like a hot pie, like. Some are just okay, but I've had some that were just like, oh, hello. Donuts, a lot of donuts, mid at best. But then you get one, just every now and then you get one donut that blows like, you're like, this is what you're all striving for. I'm not doing wow. I'm still in the social level. We're almost ready for my wine glass is almost empty here. We'll fill it up and have some. So one problem I realized, I usually do these chatting streams on Friday where I don't work Saturday morning. I do have a 9 a.m. meeting tomorrow, which is we're going to see how that goes. Oh shit. I forgot to check if I need to care about, you know what? I don't think I need to care about this meeting. I'll attend, but will I? Or will I be shit posting on Discord through it all? Let's be honest with ourselves. My last. Oh, I have two more pre-second wine glass topics here. One, I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. I convinced a friend to. My last trip to Japan, November, got canceled because my ear blew out. I got a sinus ear infection, eardrum ruptured. I felt like absolute garbo. I could not travel, so I had to cancel that 3-week trip to Japan. Sob, sad, etc. Sidebar to sidebar. I went to an audiologist yesterday, and they looked at my ear, and I did a bunch of ear tests, and they said your ears are perfectly healthy. You are good to do everything else normally, so I can go travel. I feel like traveling fine, but what I asked about was I can go scuba diving, and so I actually make that as a separate note, as I need to look at getting scuba certified. I did scuba diving once in Hawaii as like an exploratory course. Can't say that word. Where you don't need to be certified. They just do a quick rundown and take you like 10 meters deep in the coral reefs. And it was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot, and I think I want to do it more. I think I have 2 uncles who do like deep, like 60-meter scuba dives, like the Channel Islands. Some islands off the San Francisco they go to. One lives in Hawaii now and does scuba diving there off Maui. Something I want to do again, and I know 2 of my friends are into scuba diving. I'm trying to get scuba certified. Not in the Puget Sound. Perhaps I will do all the courses here and do the final certification in like Maui or Kauai or something. Convince some friends to go. So my ears, I did the hearing test. They're like, we're going to play a bunch of tones. Turns out my hearing's perfectly normal. Back to regular. Fantastic. So I had to cancel that Japan trip. But now I'm like, January 1st rolled around. I'm like, let's rename this Discord thread from Japan 2025 to Japan 2026 and start this again. But this time I took some learnings because like as I was leading up to the cancellation of my last trip, it caused me to really reflect on, is the trip I planned the one I really wanted to take? And I realized it wasn't quite the trip I really wanted to take. Because I've done one solo trip before, and so the second solo trip didn't quite cut it. So I wasn't so bad upset canceling. So I took all my learnings, pulled them forward. I convinced one friend to go with me. And then a couple weeks ago, I bought my plane tickets to Japan. And then she bought her plane tickets to Japan. So I have one friend absolutely locked in. And she did the bold thing, and she picked the seat next to me on that flight over. We're flying back on different dates though, because I'm doing a bike ride and she has work. I'm doing air quotes here, work. Some of us are probably gonna be unemployed at that stage of that trip, so we don't have work to think about. And then another friend might be able to go, which would be exciting. Essentially, I realized I like solo travel and I like travel with my friends. So if I can do a like 2-week trip to another country that overlaps with friends for at least parts of it, that'd be delightful, just delightful. Instead of just being like 10 days, 15 days into a trip in a foreign country, you don't speak language, you're like, oh, I'm in my hotel room eating all the snacks I bought in the convenience for dinner. I'm so alone. Just me and all these Japanese beers I bought for 200 yen. Me and my strong zeros I got from a vending machine. But my challenge is I am decked out and ready to go to do some joint trip planning. Like I am doing my absolute best. I'm exercising all my willpower to not just like information blast decision and like info dump and ask for a bunch of decisions and like get into the weeds and details and nitty gritty of traveling together with this friend, because I know they're super busy at work. And I'm just like, I just message them. I'm like, I'm doing my best to not overwhelm with things. When do you want to start thinking about this? And they're like, mid-February. I'm like, fantastic. I put a note down, mid-February info dump on friend about Japan. I'm like, I have a spreadsheet? And she's like, share it mid-February. I'm like, fantastic. But it's been hard. It's been hard. I'm like an addict. I'm like, I just want to talk about the trip. I want to make decisions. I want to make plans. Where we're going to go. What cities we're going to go to. What type of hotel do you want? Should I book the hotel? Do you want me to find hotels for us? What type of activities do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Do you want any tours? Here's a bunch of tours we can look at. I mean, what type of restaurants do I have? A whole list of restaurants we can go to. How many days in Tokyo? Do you want to take Shinkansen? What part of Kyoto do you want to stay in? Like, I am like ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to not overwhelm them. And it's gonna be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to this trip now that this friend's coming with me. I still hope for some more people to go. It'd be fun. I'm doing a 2-day bike ride, which I described to one friend, and they said, I'm not gonna say they were dismissive, but they implied that what I signed up to do was, their words, not mine. Oh, actually not their words. Super easy for babies. And I'm like, hey, some are babies. Some are babies. And haven't ridden a bike in a long time. So 70 kilometers is a lot of bike ride to do. And they're like, oh, you're biking the whole way? I'm like, with an e-bike. And they're just like, shake their head. They just shook their head at me, and they're just like, kind of a sad look of just like, and you're taking 2 days. It was kind of like this, and you're taking 2 days to do that? You child. And I'm like, it's fine. It's a reasonable thing. But that'll be the end of the trip when my friend flies back because she has to go back to her job. I'll do this cool bike ride on my own, take a bunch of photos, and then go back to Tokyo, buy a second suitcase, fill it with figurines, and come on home. I might not do that, but I like the idea of it. Talk about all those things. Okay, we're ready for the wine section. So for the wine section, I'm going to go fill up yon glass of wine with the non-spoiled bottle. I'll be back in, let's say 48 seconds. I did not mute my mic. Ha. Good thing I didn't use the restroom. That'd be awkward. I have to just delete my account at that point. Take a glass of wine. I checked the wine that I opened that I thought was corked. I took a little sip. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good. I'm sorry, little bottle of wine. You are going down the sink. Ta-ta. Goodbye. Farewell. Discount sale wine from QFC. Hello, my friend. Much better. So let's see. It's my 2-year anniversary. I have a note there, so I should probably talk about something like that. One concern. I'll get into the details of it, but I was going to have a medical procedure on Monday, and one of the things was like no aspirin 5 days leading up to it. I was looking at the stream, the timing of it. I was looking at the amount of wine I was planning on drinking. I was looking at my bottle of Excedrin that contains aspirin, and I was like, oh no, my Excedrin. I can't have my Excedrin. But I canceled that procedure, so I can't have my Excedrin. We're back in business. And I will talk about that in a bit. It's probably going to be a 2 to 3 hour stream. Now I'm looking at the clock. I'm through one column of notes. And you know what? I just like chatting in streams. That's what it comes down to. I just like chatting in streams. I don't like chatting at work. At work, I am muted. I am silent. I only come off mute when I'm angry at somebody. Apparently, I have been told that my work self is scary by my friends, and that I have a definite, very stern, authoritative, slightly angry business voice I use in meetings at times, which I know is a thing because at the start of COVID, my ex and I shared an office together. We had one extra spare bedroom. We had both our office desks in that bedroom. I was on very many voice calls, but she was, and she definitely had a like very serious manager voice that was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And so I'd be like in the room, and she'd switch into manager voice, and I'd be like, I have to leave the room. This is horrifying. So I know I do it as well. I can feel myself doing it. I can't replicate it. This is the strangest things. Hello. Vanilla sweet. That's not how you spell vanilla. I can't. The problem is I can't replicate my angry business voice. So it has to be genuinely like. It comes off when I'm like I feel righteously correct, and I feel that they are terrifyingly wrong. Ha! It took me a second. I will tell you, it took me a second. It made me, I did double check. I'm like, that's not vanilla sweat. Like, no way, that's definitely vanilla sweet. I'm glad I made you. I'm glad for that. Getting names right is important. It's hard. It's hard getting names right. And vanilla sweat from Axe Body Spray. I think I work with a lot of people from China and India, so I'm very, very cautious about how to pronounce names and make sure I read it correctly, because the names aren't spelled right. Not so right, but like how they're spelled, your brain might think one thing, but might be different. So I do try to read names and pronounce it correctly. But if I know you, if I know as a person, I will mispronounce your name on purpose if I know it bothers you. But not for new people, only for close friends will I butcher their name on purpose. So we're in the was I talking about my work angry voice? How'd that come up? Who knows? I will say, this is a fact about me. I realized 20 years ago in my first public speaking class is that sometimes to always, when I'm talking in like a presentation or like streaming or a work presentation, I'll start talking and then I kind of like black out and then I'm done. And I don't always remember what I said. I went through like, I've done so many work presentations where I start presenting and then it's over and I don't remember what I said. I did an hour-long thesis defense. No idea what I said in that thesis defense, but you know what? I passed. That's what matters. And that's what terrifies me about these streams at times, is I don't always remember what I say. I try to dwell on it. I try not to dwell on it too deeply. I figure if I say something terrible or problematic, a friend will say, "Hey, Sanish, you said this thing on stream. What did you mean by that?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't a love confession. That was something else." So from the wine section of chat, which means we can talk about deep personal issues that friends and people might be interested or might not be interested in. If you're not interested, you can probably. Oh wait, I have 2 regular notes here. Nah, I'm not gonna talk about that. Cross that off. Oh, I will talk about. No, you know what? I will talk about it. I've noticed, as I said earlier, 10 years ago, 0 friends. Now I have a bunch of friends. At the very, like, I think a friend, I'll admit, Stardew Valley has ruined me. And I think of my friendships in terms of heart meters. And it'd be like, how many hearts does this friend have? And you hit certain milestones, you unlock certain things. All right. One easy one. I don't like being hugged unless I know someone well enough. Like, I have like probably 4 friends. 4 friends I'm fine hugging. And like, that's it. 4 friends, okay, and like the wives of the 3 of them, because kind of like by association, like the couple has enough friendship points, that's fine. But like, it's something I generally don't like. Or I'm like negative neutral on it ever since like 3rd grade. No, ever since 2nd grade. What was my 2nd grade's teacher was named Miss Butts. I do not joke with you. Her name was Miss Butts, 2nd grade teacher, Roanoke Park, California. Look it up. Where she liked to hug students, and she was fine. It was like an older lady. It was perfectly normal. I at that moment in 2nd grade, I realized like I don't like this. 2nd grade teacher, Miss Butts. Also 1st grade, it was Miss Butts, 1st, 2nd grade. Miss M something. What was her name? Miss Bazansky for 4th grade, and then Mr. Bates for 5th grade. Mr. Bates, who even in 5th grade, we would jokingly refer to as Master because we were boys. Maybe the girls did it too. I don't know. I didn't talk to girls till college, so who knows? Mr. Bates, we'd refer to as Master Bates in 5th grade. And you know what? No regrets. I assume maybe the girls did also. I don't know. Again, I didn't talk to any girls until college, so it's a real mystery. I talked to 2. I talked to 1. I asked 1 to, at the 1 middle school dance I went to, I asked 1 girl to dance 1 time. Never again. It was the girl who my mom was like, "Oh, you should date her." I'm like, weird thing to say, Mom. Weird thing. She's like, "Oh, she's also in the honors, like in the honors classes, and she's tall. You should date her." I'm just like, no, thank you. We're not going down that road, Mother. So sorry. I'm not dating anybody in middle school nor college. That was 1 girl. Talked to that 1 girl, and then there was 1 girl in my computer arts class who I talked to a little bit. Talked to a girl a little bit. Pretty brave, young Sanish. Oh, my mom 100% shipped me with a middle school classmate. Absolutely. From like 6th grade to graduation, she shipped me with another one of my classmates, because I was in essentially the same group of students from 4th grade to graduation. Even though my high school was like 2,400 people, it was part of the GATE program, the Gifted and Talented Education, which I have no idea if it was a cult, might be a cult, but essentially all the parents in the school district were just like, hey, look, let's collude. They colluded with the teachers to segregate the students based on academic ability. Like let's put all the smart kids in a class together, and let's put all the normal kids together, and let's put all the kids who need a little bit of extra help together, you know, a little bit of like the kids who might not make it through high school. And I say this because I was put in the class of all the smart kids. My brother, same grade as me, was in that class of like, these kids need a little bit of extra help. So my family had both ends. We were anchored on both ends, and my mom was like, absolutely, put Sanish in the smart class, put his brother in the class that might not make it through high school, because by God, he needs it. It worked great. He made it through high school. Big surprise to the family. Big surprise to the California high school exit exam as well. Made it through. He made it through. To the surprise of me, my parents, to the surprise of all of his teachers, my brother made it through and graduated high school. So they segregate us by academic ability, because all the parents on both ends of that spectrum were like, yes, absolutely. So I was in the GATE program with the same students for like the same class, like it's like the AP kids effectively through all of high school. So yes, my mom shipped me with the same girl from 6th grade to graduation. The ironic thing is around freshman year of high school, she started dating another classmate, obviously another classmate, not me, who had the same name as me. So I'm like, look, Mom, she did date someone named Sanish, just not me. Because you know why? Because I didn't talk to girls until college. I would say I was a late bloomer, but turns out, just not interested. Just not interested. And let's get to the we're gonna skip this. I had like why I started streaming, but like, meh, chuck that though. Maybe we'll come back to that. Maybe we'll circle back to that at the end. But what I really want to talk about was realization. Was the I've had like pretty much like a personal journey of exploration over the last like 3 years. I'll say 3 years. The wine's telling me 3 years. We're not gonna do math here. Terrifying to do math. Of like, so about 3 years ago, I ended a long-term relationship. Oh, okay. That's generous. I was broken up with. I cried. We moved on. I assume, by the way, I don't know what I look like when I cry. I assume in my heart of hearts that I'm an ugly crier, because that feels more dramatic. And I wish, like, if I'm crying, it is very dramatic and it makes everybody uncomfortable. Like, if I'm crying, I want everyone around me to be uncomfortable. My ex was uncomfortable. She left the house. She's like, I'm going to go stay with a friend for a night. And I just sat there at that kitchen table and ugly cried for a bit. Then I moved on. But that started a personal learning journey of myself, of being single for the first time in 15 years? Long time. First time being single in a long time. Look, some of my long-term relationships had overlap. Thank you for joining Vanilla Sweet. Enjoy your plans for the evening. So some of my long-term relationships may have overlapped a little bit. little bit. We don't need to go into that now. We can go into that later if people want. I don't need to go into it at the moment. It is a fun Sanish lore fact. When you meet me, you'd be surprised. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I started a personal journey at that point. When I'm looking back on like 2-year anniversary, I realized like there's like 2 years, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, last year, this upcoming year, on like personal journey steps, combined with like the friendship journey, which is a separate journey from my personal one, maybe intertwined, maybe separate. But the personal journey was like 2 years ago, kind of when I started streaming. So about 2 years ago when I started streaming, it was like, let's say I started. Wait, does that actually line up pretty close? Well, fuck me, it does. 2 years ago when I started streaming, the first year of streaming, my personal journey was reconciling and looking back and being very kind of like retrospective about my past relationships and asking why they ended, because I feel like they're all kind of like commonalities at how these relationships ended with different women, and it made me like go, there is a pattern here. What does that pattern say about me? And so that year after breaking up, plus so when I started streaming, first started streaming with my ping tuber. Do I have my ping tuber here available? Nope. My ping tuber up here. Nah, I'm not. Yeah, we got my ping tuber. Ping tuber streaming model 0.1. My little ping tuber. This is how I started streaming. My little pie crew self. Not far from where my hair is at the moment. That's Mark 1 Sanish. So somewhere between Mark 0.1 Sanish. I did this pie crew for about a couple months until I moved on to Sanish 0.5. I still like Sanish 0.5 a lot, actually. Actually, of course I picked these looks. I found them adorable. Like this look here, Sanish 0.5. This, by the way, this is me replicating the Foxboy pipeline, which I'm gonna warn everybody about. And then where is Sanish 1.0? There we go. This might be full body. Oh god, look at that cropping job. Who cropped this? Ah. So then I got to Sanish 0.5, Sanish 1 here. Sanish 1 over here. This Sanish over here. So kind of this Sanish era. The journey, the first year journey was about like introspective look at. It's funny because like it's a very important thing to say, but I feel very uncomfortable saying it as a word. I don't like saying the word sexuality. I really don't. The word makes me uncomfortable to say. I don't like talking about sex, and so it's the fact that it's in the word, painful to me. Looking at and thinking about like how I've approached relationships, how I felt. Actually, I don't like that. I don't like that clip. Let's get rid of that one. Is that a better one? That doesn't have shitty cropping? There we go. I do miss the hood at times, I'm not gonna lie. Looking at and going to that and realizing like, oh, I am hella aromantic. Like that was one thing where I learned about it. I looked it up. I researched it. I read books about it. I'm like, shit. Hell, that describes me real good, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Foxboy? I'm like, nuts. Not in like a bad way, but like in a like, there's like this explains a lot. High all the Sanishes down. And the main reflection was like looking back at high school. Like there was a moment in high school, like junior year, let's say, where I was like, everyone else is like, oh, I have a crush on this person, or I have a crush on this person. And sometimes the crushes were based on very superficial things, like, oh, I have a crush on Stephanie because she was the first girl in the class to grow giant breasts. And everyone was like, we have all the crushes on Stephanie because of that. And it's just like, sure. She's kind of mean though. She's not very nice. Oh God, her name. I almost had her full name. I almost had her full name on chat on here. But I feel like there were so many, like, it's one of those like common names like Stephanie or Jessica or Sarah. They're just very, very, very common in a certain decade. But everyone's like, oh, I have a crush on this person, or I have a crush. Like, here's my celebrity crush. And I was sitting there, a young Sanish, feeling none of that. Feeling none of that at all. Like, oh, who do you have a celebrity crush on? I'd be like, oh, what? To the point where, like, at the time, I've before on stream, I'll say it again. I was told don't assume continuity of streams. I was told, like, at the time I was in high school, it was like, well, I don't have any crushes on any of the girls. I never have. I don't have celebrity crushes. And at the time, there was two options. When I was in high school, there was two options. You were either straight or you were gay. And I'm like, I had a serious internal monologue for like a little bit of time there. Like, I was like, am I gay? Is that what this is? But then I realized I didn't have any crush on any boys. So I'm like, probably not that one. So it just took 20 years to circle around and be like, I'm aromantic. That explains that one. That also explains a lot of my past relationships and why they failed. This is my first year of streaming. Oh, thank you, Floofy Boy, VT. So it was my first year of streaming. I was going through that journey of being, oh, thank you for the follow. God damn it, those alerts aren't, I keep moving these alerts and then I keep not testing them. Sorry, I need to make a note here. I need to fix my alert. Move alerts left. Move alerts. 50 pixels. I'm not sure why I don't test them. I just set them up and I don't test them. So my first year of streaming, coming through and being like, I'm definitely aromantic. I'm definitely aromantic and ace. But over the last year, during there's a discovery, learning, and then like the integration phase of these things of like learning things about yourself. It's like 100% aromantic, probably a spec at some point. I don't know what point, but like still on there. Also, I'm fine saying aromantic. I'm fine saying aro ace. I don't like saying asexual for the same reason I don't like saying sexuality. It's like, I don't like saying that word. So that was the first year. That was the first year of streaming. So as I was streaming, learning to stream, developing a model, seeing what I liked, I didn't like, etc., 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 etc. First year. Second year, so it's last year, which was firmly in Sanish 1. When did I switch models? Showing my pen here. Sanish 1. All my little notey notes here. Let's see. Oh, earliest one. Character boards. First sketch was June 2024. I switched to Sanish 1.0 pretty fast. Let me put those back up here. Pop, pop. So we have Sanish 0.1 Pi Crew model, Ping Tuber. That's when I first started 2 years ago. Then we have Sanish 0.5. I think about it. I am in my third year. Jesus. 0.5 lasted about a month too. $5 off Etsy. I follow somebody on Blue Sky who they have one of the Etsy models I was considering from the same Etsy artist, which is kind of funny to see. Oh my God, so limited in the available expressions. But the vibes and like the I think what I love about this model, I love the hoodie and I really love the hair a lot. This is by the way, it's me going through also the Foxboy pipeline where we start here. Sanish PhD haver, it is Foxboy. The Sanish 0.5. Check Discord. Why are you here? Check Discord. I swear to God, this is like the Minecraft servers. God damn, it's about the Minecraft servers, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Give me a second. Oh, you know, I think my SSH is broken on computer. 1 second. I need to add someone to a Discord server. Oh, I can't SSH into this Minecraft server. You're gonna. Oh God, 1 second. It's awkward to do. So this was Sanish 1.0. Also off Etsy, but a custom Etsy model. This was from 747. This is when I was like a couple months in. I was like, oh, this is gonna start playing Minecraft audio. That was end. There's no way to cut that off. Everyone's gonna experience Minecraft audio for a second. I need to add somebody to a whitelist because they are somebody who is a nice person. So we're gonna add it in. Click ignore the Minecraft music that's about to pop up. Oh, it didn't pop up. Perfect. Whitelist. Add whitelist. 1 second. Reload. Okay. There we go. Added. Whitelist reloaded. Log in, log out with the Minecraft launcher if you do not have permissions to join the Minecraft server. I had some friends who had that problem with like some weird problem with Minecraft identity. So this is Stanish 1.0. Here we go. I streamed with Stanish 1.0 here for a year and a bit, actually, into my second year. I like Stanish 1.0 a lot. This was deep. This is part of the PhD to Foxboy pipeline. They don't warn you about it. They don't warn you about it, but it's serious business. It's serious business. And this is where I went from like, I spent $5 on a model, then I spent $300 on a model, and then I spent $4,000 on a model. And you know what? Sometimes you have a hobby you do for 2 years and you spend money on it. And I probably spent $500, $1,000 like on art commissions at this point. I've been trying to do like $100 of art commissions a month. Well, that's the problem. One of my friends is when I was not waffling, but I was like talking about the cost of the model, and he's like, Sanish, how many hours have you spent streaming? How much time do you put into this hobby? And it's like $4,000. Like that's nothing for a hobby you enjoy. He's like, I spent $8,000 on a mountain bike. I spent like $25,000 on like a treaded. To be fair, he's very much an enabler, and I appreciate that because I can veer towards the stingy and the like cheap when I need to spend more money on myself. So spending money on my model and the art, well worth it. Spending money on skebs and commissioning art of my fan art of myself, worth it because it brings joy to me. Also, I like rotating out my phone backgrounds to be phone backgrounds of Sanish art I commissioned. It's just fun. Cosplay. Fortunately, I've not spent too much on cosplay yet, but it is a road. I'm like 2 steps down the slippery slope of cosplay. So help me if I know that like I'm teetering on the edge. I buy pre-made cosplays, and if I take one more step, that price is going to surge, and I'm not ready to pay that price yet. I'm about at $500 in cosplays total. I've only started recently cosplay, and that's part of the self journey of just like, there are, hey, if you enjoy it, divide that by number of years, and maybe that number feels better. Number of hours, maybe, or don't, and just be like, this is money spent on joy. It's money spent on joy. And that's been first year of streaming, just getting into it, realizing, like testing it out, see if I actually like it, and being like, this is a hobby I've committed 2 years to now, which is a lot for a lot of my hobbies. And so I feel okay spending money on it within reason, within budget. Oh, see, divide that bad boy by 10. That's 4 digits a year. Easy. People spend more on way worse hobbies, or like on like they buy a boat or something. Oh, awful. So First year, Aerial Ace Journey, starting streaming. This last year, so starting in, I tried to help. I made it worse. Last year, so last April was the first time I cosplayed. Speaking of cosplay, tie with a good, easy tie, and almost like you're a plant to ask the right questions. So last year, SakuraCon, April, I'm like, I want to dress up and cosplay because I've never done it before. And I've thought about it, but I've been too shy, too uncertain of myself, honestly, looking back today, too unhappy with my body is what it was. If I'm being like, realizing now how the feelings of like from age 13 to 37, unhappy with how my body looked. And that was the last year. Last year has been a lot of reconciling how I physically look and my body and how that makes me feel. Because that's something I've never addressed. Because when you were raised in the 90s, there was very strong heteronormative gender role pressures for how one should act, how one should look, and how one think about one's body. And so I've been a lot of like breaking out of that last couple of years. So last April I had a cosplay. I bought a very cheap, let's be honest, very cheap maid outfit. Like $40, like a $40 maid outfit. It is polyester. It is not made of high quality materials. And I'm like, I'm going to wear this to SakuraCon. I don't, it's something new. I've never done it before. It is scary, but I'm going to do it. And part of that cosplay, and this is what, thank you. This was part of, part of it was like, to prep for this cosplay, I needed to shave my legs for the thigh high tights, right? For the thigh highs. I ended up not doing thigh high and doing just full on tights. But I had to shave my legs for it because otherwise it looked really bad. And I did that. And like, after I shaved my legs for the first time in my life since hitting puberty, I was like, immediately like, I feel better about myself. It was like a very stark like moment of just before and after the sun comes out of the clouds, just like I was thinking like, oh, I feel better. And one of my friends, I got called out on the stream as like, that's being like, that's gender dysphoria. That's gender dysphoria, bro. Or gender euphoria, bro. I'm just like, oh. And so since then, and this has been the last year, is coming to terms with that, accepting that, and what it means to me is the big one. Like for me, it's like I very much still like pretty strongly like identify male, but just wish to like have a bit more feminine appearance in some ways. Mostly, you know what it is? Mostly, I hate body hair. That's what it's come down to. I realized ever since I hit puberty, I've hated it. I've never liked it. And so this last year has been coming to terms with that and acting on it and starting the whole laser body hair removal process, which is expensive and hurts like shit. It hurts like, by God, it hurts like nothing else. I got the going through it now. Part of it is over the last 15, 20 years, I've grown my facial hair out as a beard or clean shaven. Either way, this is what the small step I took that started me down this journey. Whatever take I took, there's like the area of hair that grows below the beard line. If you, probably not everyone here, but for those who have grown out facial hair and grown out beards, there's a beard line you get right on below your chin. You decide where it is. Most people go kind of like right above the Adam's apple-ish. But like below that patch for me was always like a pain in the ass to shave. Awful to shave, full beard, clean shaven. I'd always shave the area and I hated it. It always got razor burnt. It always hurt like hell. It always looked bad. So I got that. I realized I could get that lasered off. I could get that zapped away and do some other laser hair removal. But as I went in my first session, the technician said to me, he said, Sanish, this area on your neck that we're about to laser, like from every client I've talked to who has gotten anything lasered, they have said this area is the most painful part of the body to get lasered. And I was like, well, shit. So I buckled up. They gave me a poor little stress ball that I crushed to dust. And I got that neck area lasered and it hurt. It hurt like nothing else. And they're like, oh, do you want me to slow down? And I'm like, I am paying like $25 a minute to get this laser gun. Do not stop. I will summon every ounce of stoicism that Marcus Aurelius had ever conceived of since birth to get through this laser hair treatment. And they finished the neck area. Also, the first session hurts the most. So that first session, rough. And they did like my chest area and things. But after they got to that neck, everything else essentially just like a relaxing spa day. I'm like, oh, shave those lasers. There's, oh, nary a pinch compared to what you did at first. So this last year has been doing this like body gender dysphoria, euphoria journey, and seeing where I am, what I want, and where I want to go, and what's worth it, what's not worth it. And it's not done, not a finished journey. I bought a bunch of essentially like, you know, Femboy 101 starter pack clothing to try on, and some other like women's clothing to try on to see what I like, what I don't like. I bought a custom Etsy Ren Fair dress. So I have a green, I don't know the words for it. A sleeveless green ankle length Renaissance fair dress I got off Etsy. That I wore to the Ren Fair. I got the maid outfit I've worn twice. I have another maid outfit, a different one I'm wearing on April that I had to buy that dance belt for unless I flash the world, which I don't really particularly want to do. And some of it, I'm like, I tried on, I'm like, this doesn't fit, or this didn't work. Like some stuff I got, because like you take the measurements and you buy online and you hope that they'll fit on your body. Buying, like, which is a new experience. Like for me, buying clothes has always been a fraught experience since I turned like 10 years old, because I am very thin, I'm on the taller side, and it's like American men's sizes aren't built in like thin, tall sizes, right? Like men's pants are scaled like, oh, they're like, it's like waist by length sizing, and like stores don't carry my size. I have to go to specialty retailers to get like things that are thin enough and long enough. So I'm used to like being fraught. So I'm buying women's clothing online, just like, oh, let me just take my measurements with a tape measure, get the right measurements, and hope and pray. And some of them I bought, I'm like, I don't care for it. Some I bought, I'm like, I kind of like how this looks. I will never wear it anywhere outside of my home. I sent photos to a couple friends. I showed one friend in a different friend circle. We were at a Weird Al concert during intermission. I showed her because I thought she might be interested, and she was. But it's something I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed buying. And a couple of pieces I actually like enjoy wearing a little more regularly. Like for example, essentially most time at home, I wear pajama pants and a t-shirt. That is what I'm wearing most of my life. That is what I'm wearing at this very moment, in fact. But sometimes when I'm like, go at grocery stores or go for a walk, I live on like several floors up, so I have to climb the stairs up. If I've been carrying heavy groceries for like a couple blocks, I get kind of overheated when I get home, and I don't want to wear like pajama pants again. So I just at that point put on one of the skirts I bought to wear around the house. And look, I'm gonna say it here. Swishy skirts are fun to wear. Said it. I stand by that statement. I will stand by the statement the day I die. They are fun to wear, like a little floof, a little spin. Delightful. So I wear those when I don't want to too warm to wear pajama pants. Though I did encounter the fun experience today. I wore when I was doing my piano practice stream earlier today. I was wearing one of my little swishy skirts. I was sitting on my little piano bench, and then I had the experience I've had women in my life tell me about that I had not experienced, which is your thighs sticking to fake leather seats. Because I have my little piano bench here next to me. I'm tapping it as if it's making a sound you can hear, but I realized nobody can hear this sound, which is definitely a fake leather, and my legs were stuck to it, and I had to peel myself off at the end of that stream. I'm just like, that is a new experience. But as for the fanboy comment, is one thing I thought about. I've mentioned in previous streams that, like, if I had this like self-identity and like femboy as a more popularized concept like it is today, if I knew about this like 20 years ago, fantastic. I would have 100% been an 18 to 20-year-old femboy. No questions asked. I would have gone straight down that pipeline. I would have been that kid in college and high school. Absolutely. Caveated with, I have a lot more confidence today than I did back then. Back then I wore shitty clothes my parents kind of picked out for me, and like I looked bad. My clothing choices were awful. I had no confidence. I had no charisma. It was bad. It was awful. But if I had what I had today, 20 years ago, 100% internet femboy. 100%. Absolutely. Would I been like, oh, should I start an OnlyFans? You know what? Maybe. I'll say maybe. Probably not. But maybe. Discovering this about yourself at 37, a little harder. You're like, I'm still young. They said decades after twink death had passed. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's fine. That's why I'm a foxboy, a tiny foxboy in the big internet. Works out a lot better that way. Also, another reason I lived a clean shaven life. There's another thing I transitioned in last year from having the bearded lifestyle to be going clean shaven again after not being clean shaven for a while. Was I switched over from electric razors. I switched over to safety razors, which I swear, I hit puberty. My dad handed me an electric Norelco razor I still own to this day, and was like, this is what you're going to use to shave your face, son. Figure it out on your own. And I was tossed into the woods with the wolves to figure out how to shave on my own. By God, I did. And by God, it was not great. So I had a bad shave for many years. Somehow got a girlfriend with that and everything that entails. Somehow got another girlfriend. Somehow got married. Somehow got into another long-term relationship. Got a beard at some points. Lost a beard at some points. But in this last year, I decided to try out safety razors after being peer pressured by Reddit. And a friend who was like, I use safety razors. I use a particular Hungarian brand. And so I bought a bunch of razors. I tried it out, and it takes a little more work, but it does give a much closer shave, which makes me feel much better with how I look. So thank you very much. I bought the same. I am slowly converging to owning all the same items that my friends own. So now I own the same razor blades as my friend, which are the... Not me looking it up real quick because I forgot that I'm 2 glasses in. Oh, wow. That's not how you spell that. They are the Derby Extra... This is my product placement. This stream brought to you by Derby Extra Double Edge Razor Blades from Hungary. Hungary, right? I think they're Hungarian. Now I'm curious. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking this up because I need to know. Ooh, it's an FTA wording. That's worrisome. But I bought a razor. I'm shaving the face there with a little aftershave thing. Feel much better about things. And that's been the journey this last year, is like, what are things I can change about, ooh, that's the wrong window. What are things I can change about myself and my body just to feel better about it? And it is really, really going down the road of growing my hair out, maybe getting this wolf cut in the next couple, let's be honest, in the next month. I didn't say next couple weeks, but that's being a bit optimistic. It's gonna be the next couple months. Haha. Teehee. And essentially having a year-long reckoning with body hair and how it makes me feel about my body, which is bad. Remove it all. And it's a pain. It's a pain to remove it all until you start. If you have only shaved your face, or if you've never shaved anything, the minute you try to shave like your legs, you realize how much skin legs have, how much surface area legs have. And yesterday, I was shaving my legs after getting them lasered, and I was kind of like, immediately could tell the difference of the half my legs that got lasered off. So much less hair, so much better. Oh, it's a lot. I can't wait to I can't wait to have the rest of my leg lasered. I do not look forward to the process. That was last year. Main outfit, streaming, got all that checked out. Did that. Check. One upcoming thing, which I canceled today, I'll talk about it because it's not something people generally talk about. And I feel like I could have. There are a lot of things I wish people would talked about more when I was younger, or were just in the vernacular to discuss, because that would have helped me in my personal journey earlier in my life. One thing I was going to do on Monday, but I canceled because of my insurance doesn't cover it, was I was going to go in to Dr. Snips for a little vasectomy. But I decided to cancel it for two main reasons. One, not covered by my insurance, but I know some insurances do cover them. So if I quit my job and get new insurance, perhaps it'll be covered. Option one. Two, the playlist quit. And it's time for the playlist to quit on me. I did pick a 1 hour stream. Let's go back. Zuki Suzuki. This is a classic one. Go to the beginning. Being honest with myself and looking at my next year, looking at my past 2 years, not something I need anytime soon. It's fine. And it's fine. This goes back to the whole Aero Ace thing. I'm like, if I never have sex again in my entire life, I'm fine with that. That's okay. That's fine with me. So why did I want to potentially get a vasectomy? And that's because I definitely don't want kids. But there's a small part of me, there's like a 0.5% part of the back of my brain in that like primal thing of just like, you need to reproduce and have children. You shouldn't do this. And I'm like, I hate children. I hate children so much. To any of my friends who have kids, to at least one of my friends who is planning to have kids, I'm so sorry. I don't like children. I never liked children as a child. I don't like children as an adult. But part of me is like, what if I find someone who is like an heiress who is like super rich and wants to have children, and she falls in love with me and wants to support me with her like millions and millions of dollars, and we could pay an au pair. And I'm like, dear back of my brain, why are you concocting these crazy scenarios to make me doubt my decisions? I don't need it. if I decide to start dating, I'll go into Dr. Snips and get things taken care of because I don't want kids. And I don't feel it's really, honestly, the fact that like the burden for birth control is put mostly on women in terms of like hormonal birth control pills is kind of fucked up. Or on IUDs, which are like super painful and invasive and cause other issues and are just like, what is required for them. My ex had to get one and like thinking about it. Like, oh, we're just gonna jam this thing up that can cause infections just because a man doesn't want to do something. It's messed up, man. It's messed up. So I'll probably do it like summer or something. But it's one of those things where it's just like the burden on, let me pull my little soapbox here, the burden on women for birth control to ensure things are safe because they're the ones most at risk and have the highest risk of it all, where guys can be like, oh, you can get this quick little snip procedure, just takes one day at most of a slight discomfort. Also, like, to get it done, funny part is like, what sort of birth control the questionnaire for this doctor's office was like normal stuff. And then it was kind of like, it's kind of testing the grounds of like, to make sure you really do want to get a vasectomy and don't want to have kids anymore. Not in like the way that like women have to go through if they want like a hysterectomy, which is wild, but that's like a separate thing. But like, what sort of birth control methods are you currently doing? And it's like, oh, you know, birth control pills, condoms, abstinence, other. And the other box, I just wrote VTuber. Sad but accurate. But I canceled this morning because I was up late at night having doubts. For some reason, I don't know. I don't want kids, but I also don't want to have the procedure. I think that's it. I backed out of getting Invisalign for the same exact reason of like, I want the outcome, but I don't want the procedure. So I'm like, nah, not worth it. Juice isn't worth the squeeze in my favorite, slightly problematic sounding business lingo. So it's again, no plans to need it. If I ever decide to start dating again, I'll go see Dr. Snips then. Which, by the way, I doubt this doctor's last name is Snips. But if his last name is Snips, this man decided on a gold mine. So that was my last year. It's been my last couple of years. Starting streaming. And so the question is, what is the next year? What journey do I have for the next year? And so my journey for next year. By the way, my notes have all this written down, except it says next year's goals. And I just put a question mark to myself. I didn't actually write down any next year goals. I wrote this as in like, you will figure this out live on stream. I'm like, thanks past me. Thanks past me for writing that down. Real pal. Your real pal, past self. So on the friends front, I realized I do have some goals for the next year. I've been pretty good at doing like planned schedule events for friends. Like, oh, let's all go get coffee at this coffee shop, or let's all go to karaoke together, or like let's play D&D campaign, or play games online, or start a Minecraft server. What I've not done, and part of my friend journey over the last year, has been asking the question, what aspects of a heteronormative romantic relationship did I enjoy, and can I recreate those in the framework of a platonic friendship? And I've been going through that journey. And one thing that I have enjoyed in the past with my ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, what have you, have been kind of like the low stakes hanging out aspect, where it's like you're hanging out in the same space as somebody, but you're not necessarily like engaged with them, right? You're not like, it's not active, deep conversation. You're not engaged doing activities together, but it's more like you're doing your thing and they're doing their thing, but you're in the same space, kind of cohabitating in the same space, like a parallel play sort of thing. Like I'm cooking dinner and they're watching anime, or like I'm playing my game, they're playing their. I'm playing Genshin Impact, they're playing Crusader Kings 3 and breeding a beautiful family of inbred monarchs. And that kind of like casual hanging out together that's like the next step of like what I want to recreate in my friendships in the next year. Because that's something I am missing from like the romantic cohabitating partnered relationships. And I want to recreate it because I like it. That's all it comes down to, is because I like it. And so that's what I want to do more of and kind of build up this upcoming year, which is coming sooner than I think, because I might have convinced a friend to do that on this Saturday, which I'm excited about. Like, hey, I know we have this like this watch party, dinner party planned on Saturday night, but do you want to come over earlier and just like hang out casually a bit beforehand? So I might hit this goal sooner than I think, which is exciting for me. Knocking your goals out in February is much better than scrambling to finish them in December. So that's a friendship goal. Also, maintain current friendships, deepen them, build them, blah, blah, blah. All important. Make new friends, maybe? Could be exciting. So that's next year's friendship goal. Personal goals. Essentially really continue down the how can I go or embrace or do things to make me feel better about my body and who I am. Like, of course, like, duh, right? Like, why should you do that? And essentially putting the effort forward to do that. So that's gonna be it's probably gonna manifest mostly in laser hair removal and wearing a maid outfit in public once more. Look, once you wear a maid outfit in public once, like that ice is broken. The wine glass. Oh, you missed so much. You missed the 1 year. You missed the last 2 years retrospective. I'm now in the goals for the next year. So the first goal, in case you missed it, was the more casual hangouts with friends. So kind of like parallel play next to each other, like not necessarily like talking engaging, but like, oh, you're gonna like watch something while I cook, or like play a video game while I play a different video game. Kind of like hanging out in the same space is one thing. I guess you could also watch them. You could also watch the VOD, I suppose. That was one goal. Like kind of the parallel play, the things I miss from it's like, what can I recreate from romantic relationships in my platonic friend relationships? Which turns out, if you think about it deeply, you can recreate almost everything. In fact, depending on the friend, you can recreate everything. But then we're getting into then that's edging into queer platonic relationship territory, which is probably, that's in 2 years. So that's the personal journey. Or that's the friendship journey. Personal journey, honestly, is mostly laser hair removal. This next year is going to be a lot of laser hair removal. I'm going to invest the money, and I'm going to work up to laser everything I can. Essentially, it's like a beard line down. I want it all gone. Please just remove it. And I will grit through the pain and feel better about myself. Also, I need to figure out what I'm doing with my hair. I need to go circle back with those friends who had wolf cut hair suggestions and hair product suggestions, and people and hairstylists to go see suggestions, and just spend the money and lock into that wolf cut. Try it out. Honestly, like what I just need the I'll go in, be like, can I get the Sanish cut minus the fox ears or plus the fox ears? I need a shit ton of product to get my Sanish haircut. Like getting all the defined hair strands. Oof. Oof. Also, the lock of hair in the center here with glasses would drive me up the wall. Like something itchy on my nose. Personal journey. I'm like at like 99% confident that I will not be dating this year. Mostly because, well, twofold. One, I'm not interested at the moment. Two, I don't have the time. Dating takes time, and I'm like, I'm booked up with things to do and like people I want to hang out with and hobbies I have and My Hero Academias to watch and games to play and streams to stream. And ostensibly I have a job in here somewhere I have to do. I care a little bit less about that part. I have to go to a gym and work out. I went to a gym today. I lifted weights. I sweated in public. Oh, terrifying. One side goal for the year is get better at spending small amounts of money on myself. I'm really bad at spending money on myself, and I need to get better at it. Like today, I allowed myself $10 whole to buy some hyacinths because they're my favorite flower. And somehow I am like, oh, well, if I drove an hour to this nursery, I could get hyacinths for $3 cheaper. So I shouldn't buy any right now at the grocery store. And I'm like, God damn it, self, just buy your favorite flower. It's your goddamn favorite flower. Buy it now. And so something I need to get better at. So I bought some hyacinths today. It's the long and short of that little rant. Or like, let's not buy coffees or things. Oh, it's hitting me. That's a goal. And it's like, it's not like, I'm not suggesting or saying I need to spend like a lot of money on myself, but it's like, I sometimes like don't spend like $20 on myself once a week because it seems like, oh, I don't need that. When like, I'm like, Sanish, my guy, my dude, my fella, you can afford to spend some money on things that bring you joy, which is my third goal for the year. My third goal for the year is make my condo nicer. And what I mean by that is right now I have a bunch of artwork that I love. I have on my walls, I have things from anime prints to VTuber prints to things I bought in Japan and China to 100-year-old Japanese wall scrolls that my grandfather bought during the Korean War in Japan to some like screen dividers a different grandmother bought in the Midwest at the turn of the century, to like old wool rugs, to like plants, to a bunch of anime figurines, all the stuff I love, but it's not cohesive. It's not brought together. There's a certain like je ne sais quoi missing from my condo. And I want to spend this year and my budget this year in kind of creating a coherent look and feel to my entire condo, because it's missing that last 10, 20%. All my walls are white and I hate that, but I don't know what color to paint them or what wallpaper to get. So one of my goals this year is to do that, to fix that. To that end, I emailed an interior designer today that was recommended by a friend, being like, single fox boy in 30s, please help. Honestly, like a brown or a burgundy would help a lot. There's some like really, really cool like French wallpapers that look pretty sick that I'm thinking about for my bedroom. But the problem is I'm like, this wallpaper looks awesome, but I'm like, but then it doesn't match any of my furniture or my carpeted floors. And like, dear Lord, I am not getting hardwoods put in. I did that once before and that like gave me essentially an ulcer. Paint, like I want wall colors, I want wallpaper, light fixtures, what lamps to get. I need a console for my record player. I need a new TV console, unify my bookshelves look and feel. I need a dresser. And so I want an interior designer to like, the one I'm trying to work with, who I emailed today, like part of it is like, they do a walkthrough, they come over, do measurements, they come up with a draft and a mood board, then they give you a list of like, here's all the furniture to buy. And they give like a 3D rendered model of your condo or your home of how it all is supposed to look like. And I'll be honest, 3D rendered model had me sold. Could use a 3D rendered model. because I'm like, I want to buy right now I have a record player, and it's on one of my nightstands. So my bed is currently missing a nightstand, and my nightstand's in my living room holding my turntable. And I'm like, this is not sustainable, but it works today. And so I need to buy an actual like console for my record player. But I want to like, I realized I shouldn't go spend $600 on furniture without a cohesive plan. So I want this interior designer to give me a cohesive plan that I can work towards over the next 5 years or so. And that's my goal for this year, is get at least a plan in place. Like, I like dark academia. I like Monet's House of Gaverny. I love Monet's House of Gaverny so much. Like that art wall that's just like crammed of artwork. I love it. I love it so much. But I want it crammed full of anime artwork, you know? I had a friend who wisely asked me while I was very drunk. She's like, you say you like dark academia, but have you ever really been in a space that has that dark academia aesthetic? And are you actually comfortable in it? And I'm like, no, I have not. And that's a fair point she made. Like, and part of it is like, I have these ideas of what I like, but can the architecture and design of my condo support that look, right? Like my living room can't support dark academia because I have 20-foot tall ceilings, right? I have 20-foot tall ceilings that go into my lofted bedroom. So how do you cut off and make that transition when dark academia really wants wood wall paneling, right? Or like a really dark wall color. And it's like, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It is hella dark. It is hella dark in winter, despite my chomping down vitamin D gummies like they're Gushers. Like, so it's that balance and like that tension that I'm just like, I am not a professional. I've painted a wall or two in my time. I picked out a wallpaper. I have some, there was like this national park green. I painted my office in my 1910 craftsman house that I adored in my computer, my little office, my little like 10 by 7 office that was like my sanctuary during my marriage, that I absolutely loved. But like, could I support that now? Is that what I want now? I don't know. Also, white walls are boring as all get out, and I'm like, please, I need someone to tell me what to do with my walls so I can pay painters to come in and paint my walls. Because there's no list here. I don't want to paint my walls. I want professionals to come in because my ceiling is 20 feet tall, and there's no way is my painting 20 feet up. Also, if I can get painters in, I can finally then install all the, I have 3 bookcases. I bought them over the last 20 years? No. Fuck me. Over the last 17 years, I bought these bookcases, and it's like, that one's from Fred Meyer, that one's from IKEA, and that one's from Target. And it's like, they don't match. They're on their last legs. So one thing I need to do is like, I would like to get interior designer to say, get this bookcase. And then I can get 3 matching bookcases that unify the look, you know? Or they could be like, get these bookcases that go all the way up to the ceiling, or don't get them, get low book. Like, I need help. And so my next year is to get that help, get that plan, and start working to actually making my interior look better. I need more lamps. I need better lighting. I'm like 80% of the way there. As I'm talking, I'm backing up that percentage, by the way. I'm 30% of the way there, guys. I have an iPad in the middle of an empty room. I have a Nintendo DS in the center of my bedroom. That's one of the goals for the year. On the plus side, canceling that surgery freed up those funds to pay for the interior designer. Ha ha ha. One of these things will give me orders of magnitude more joy than what the other one enables. leave that up to the listener to decide which one of those that is. So that's the personal goals, friendship goals, streaming goals. We'll get to streaming goals. I'm not sure I talked about this at New Year's. I might have. Or maybe at New Year's I said, I'll talk about my 2-year anniversary. And now my 2-year anniversary is here. I don't remember what I say when I stream. And I'm like, oh, maybe I said that at New Year's. Oh, I can, this is not like a big deal. I was planning to get a vasectomy on Monday, but I backed out because my insurance doesn't cover it and I don't need it. Ha, 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 oh, oh. It's something I've been thinking about for the last like 3-4 years. I'll repeat it because I care about you as a friend. I'm thinking about the last 3 or 4 years and I'm like, I should get this. For men, it is dumb easy. It is dumb easy. I will say, besides the price, the 2 things that caused me to cancel were, one, it cost $1,000 and my insurance doesn't cover it. And I might have insurance later this year that might cover it. Point 1. Point 2, you can't drive there on your own. You have to either take an Uber or get a friend to drive you. And it seems like an awkward thing to get a friend. It's like you come in for one visit, it's a 30-minute consultation, a 15-minute procedure, and you are out the door. They just churn through those things. I assume you just like shove your junk through a glory hole, snip, snip, you're done. Then that part's weird. Like I had to take an Uber back and it's like it feels like a very awkward ride back if it's a friend or an Uber driver. And the last part, my friend had it, and this is what kind of started me down this road a couple years ago because he talked about it, was like, I'm gonna have the music start up again. 8 weeks after the surgery, you have to go and provide a fresh sample to make sure everything healed up fine after the surgery. And that process sounds awkward as shit. And I'm just cringing thinking about it. I'm just like, no, thank you. And my friend said, like, when he did it, it's like, you're going to this counter to deliver the sample, and it's like you and a bunch of other guys, and you all have to politely pretend that what you are doing is not what you're doing, and that the freshness of what you're doing has not impacted what you're doing. And I'm just like, oh, that sounds not like that doesn't sound like my cup of tea in the slightest. But if I decide I want to start dating, I'll go ahead and do this, because as I have said, and I'm a firm believer of, the burden of secure birth control should not solely rely on women. It should be when men have a very, very readily available option and they don't want kids, they should just take that, because like, come on, man. Snip, snip, you're done. Thanks, Dr. Snips. That was a surgery. That was a surgery on Monday that I decided to cancel, and I'm freeing up that $1,000 to pay for an interior designer, interior decorator to come in to tell me what wallpaper to get. Last year, my $1,000 discretionary budget went to Japan plane tickets. Essentially, what I've done is I budgeted my life to have $1,000 extra every month to spend on fun things, and that fun things could be going out to dinners. It could be going to cocktail bar crawls. Could be commissioning artwork. It could be buying plane tickets. And this year it's going to be interior decorators. Last month it was plane tickets. Apparently in some future month it's going to be Dr. Snips, unless I get new insurance that covers it. So I had a friend who got it covered at the same doctor and only paid like $20. And I'm like, my friend, what insurance was that? And if I'm quitting my job, get new insurance, maybe it'll be covered. It's not like I'm going to need it in the next 6 months. I just like being dramatic. I actually don't care that I don't need it. But I don't want kids though. I'm not thinking that heiress to come, unless a millionaire wants to like falls in love with me and wants kids that we can get an au pair to take care of. That's the one scenario I got going for me. The problem is I have to actually like put myself out there. I don't know where heiresses hang out these days. Unless you're watching the stream. Single fox boy looking for uber rich fox girl. Will cook like 4 meals over and over again. It's the same meals over and over again. Or we can hire a cook and I can just work with them. I'll make phone calls. I'll schedule the catering. Oh, I family history. I can schedule catering, no problem. I have a suit now. I can be a +1 at your fancy rich fox girl parties. Think about it. You got to put those feelers out there in the universe to have them happen. I go for walks in my neighborhood and I see some of these like 3,000-foot single-family homes from like built 100 years ago that look immaculate. They look fantastic. All I can think of I just think like, shit, man. In Seattle, that is generational wealth. In other parts of the country, that is a basic-ass starter home. Stuff. So, now let's revisit Sidetrack to catch people up to speed on the surgery that's not happening because don't need it, you know? Plus, I tell myself, if I ever find myself in that situation where I would have wanted that surgery, there's other things that one could use or other things one can do. You know? That's unlikely. I might be a say-so fox boy today, but I was not in the past. So next year's goals. So that was my personal gender euphoria goals. That was my interior design goals. That was my friendship goals. Streaming goals, because that's what I'm here doing, streaming goals. Honestly, I might have said that I want to learn how to make clips. Not learn. Don't get me wrong, it's not a learning issue. It is a willingness to listen to my own voice issue. Let me drink some water and clear my throat. It's a willingness to hear my own voice issue because I've never gone over that. And it's a hard barrier to get over. I remember hearing my voice for the first time. We were doing a dramatic reading of, this was 7th grade drama class, middle school. I had we had a trimester system. For one trimester, I was in drama. And in drama, we did a reading of To Kill a Mockingbird. And my role was the judge in To Kill a Mockingbird. And we read through the play version of it. And then we listened to it. And I had to hear my own voice for the first time in my life in 7th grade, Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, we did a stage performance also afterwards. We had a recorded read through. And I heard my voice at the tender age of 9/11 was freshman year. Oh shit. Wait, 96, 97? No. What age are kids in middle school? 12, 11, 12. I had to be 99. Yeah, I was 12. At the tender age of 12, I heard my own voice for the first time on a recording, and I did not care for it. I did not care for it then, and I've not gotten over that to this day, despite having put in, at this point, thousands of hours of recorded content of myself on the internet that has had over 1,000 watch hours. So at least 1,000 hours of other people's lives have been spent listening to me stream for 1,000+ hours. But I've not gotten used to how my voice sounds. And something I need to do if I want to get better as a streamer, if I want to get better to make clip content, to grow beyond friends and the occasional passerby, that's one streaming goal for this year. Or, hear me out, or I do karaoke streams. Now, I'm going to caveat that with two big caveats. One, I can't sing. Two, I have to figure out how licensing works. So I know it either needs to be unarchived or archived, depending on the depending on the band or something. I don't know how it works, but I can either learn how I sound or just do shitty karaoke streams for nobody but myself. And I'll be honest. I stream for myself. Like if I had zero viewers and zero chatters for all time, I would be a little disheartened. The fact that you are all here today, I greatly appreciate. I greatly appreciate every person who comes by to view, every person who watches my streams live, everyone who watches my streams as VODs. I appreciate it deeply from the heart of hearts. It means a lot to me. If you are a permanent lurker who has never chatted, if you do chat occasionally, if you chat a lot or often, I appreciate it a lot. I know for when it comes to my favorite VTubers, I don't chat. I'm a lurker. I'm a lurker through and through because I'm like, what could I possibly say that this person who has all these other fans would enjoy hearing? But my VTuber viewership has tanked since I started streaming 2 years ago. I think partly because I don't have many hobbies that I can do while watching streams. I think is what it is. If I am like binge playing a game like Civilization, I can watch a stream, but I've started, instead of watching a stream and playing those games, I am streaming those games. And I don't have like a hobby like knitting or something where I can listen while doing my hobby. I don't have that, any of those like tactile hobbies. All my hobbies require like brain, like here. I can't listen and think at the same time. It's kind of what it is. I can't talk and think at the same time because my internal mental dialogue is me talking. So if ever I'm talking, it means I'm not thinking. So if I'm talking, this head is empty. That applies to streaming. That applies in person. And listening involves all my brain power as well. So I can't listen and think at the same time. So I don't have any hobbies where it's like, I can cook and listen to streams and listen to things, but I can't. Only some games can I stream and listen to at the same, like play and listen at the same time. So my watching of streams has dropped. But I don't know where I was going with that. There's no follow up there. That's just me in the wine glass with that interjection, as if there was a following clause to that statement. Perhaps I just have chatting streams as an excuse to drink a little bit too much wine. I would like to blame my parents for my appreciation of drinking too much wine. Which is always fun because I have a lot of friends who don't drink very much, and it's not strange. It has taken a couple years to acclimate to that because for me, growing up, my parents drank wine. My parents love wine. My parents adore wine, and as a consequence, all of their friends adore wine and enjoy wine. So growing up, my exposure to adult friendships was my parents would have their another couple over or a couple friends over, and they would cook a dish, cook a dinner, and have a lot of wine, and they would chat around the dining room table drinking wine. And that was how, in my mind, what adult friendships look like. You'd be at your formal dining room in uncomfortable chairs that you inherited from your great grandmother. Very important. And you'd have food, you'd have too much wine, and you'd talk, you'd catch up with friends, you get updates and news, you talk about different things, and then you'd break for the evening, and you do that once every week or so. And like, that's what adult friendships for me growing up looked like. So for me today, I've had to, I guess over the last couple, like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, recalibrate what I want my adult friendships to look like, and how does that look different from my parents, and what can I take from what they did and kind of like that learning by being privy to it and apply that to my friendships going forward. So a lot of my friends don't drink very much, which is good. It's not healthy. It is literally a poison, but it is the one poison I am choosing into my life. Why otherwise I'm living what can probably be called obnoxiously healthy with like exercising, working out. I was running for a while. No, take it back. Not obnoxiously healthy. We're gonna say occasional borderline eating disorder, but never quite diagnosed borderline eating disorder. Ha ha ha. Let's not think about it. Moving on. For friends who don't drink, right? And part of it is like, I think my generation and younger have a much, much deeper fear and respect. Oh, I don't like this particular song on this playlist. I think I skipped it last time. A much deeper fear and respect for drunk driving than my parents and older have. So for us, if we're going to hang out with friends and we drove there, it's like we are much, I feel like my friends at least are much, much better at hard limiting ourselves for alcohol consumption to not get near drunk driving in the slide. I know I do it. I see my friends doing it. And so there's a lot less of that sort of thing. Unless I'm visiting a friend who I've taken public transit to and from, or I'm walking to and from, in which case all bets are off. I'll drink everything put in front of me and I will regret it for the next full day. I am now to the point where it takes a full day to recover from a night of drinking instead of just like one brunch. Right. Like, where was I going with that? So I'm going with that because streaming is not just an excuse to drink wine, but it is a fun excuse to drink some wine. And I'm like, oh, I'm not spending this money on myself. It's for the content. I'm spending this money for the content. It's important for the audience to love it. That's why I need this bottle of Cabernet. Ho, 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 on a Wednesday night. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. But real talk. I need to drink this glass of water before I get any more wine. Otherwise, it's a work day. I don't care. I can be slightly hungover in meetings. Won't impact my performance at all. Anything else on my list? Let's see. Next year, past year with Airways, then it was Body Dysmorphia this year. So, karaoke streams. I do want to do a karaoke stream. I think I'm slowly. Circa. What was it? Give me a second. I'm checking my widow count. My widow calendar. I'm checking my widow calendar here. This would have been Top Golf, Las Vegas, family Hawaii trip. Oh shit! Wait, here it is. No, it was before that. I did a trip to Canada, notably. No, it wasn't that trip. There we go. I did a trip to Canada in September 2024 to Vancouver, British Columbia, not Vancouver, Washington, aka Vantucky, aka the bad Vancouver. Vancouver, British Columbia, with a group of friends, and it's fun. This was a let's test out traveling with these friends. These people for the first time to see if I want to travel with them in the future. This was September 2024. And we're going around Vancouver. I was like 1 or 2 espresso martinis into the evening. Afternoon. Let's be honest, afternoon. Like they're like, oh, let's go to karaoke. Let's find a karaoke. Let's go to a karaoke place. And I, a young Sanish in 2024, had never been to karaoke before. Because, and this is what I've realized over the last 2 years since I started streaming, is I have a lot of had a lot of internal dialogues, voices, strictures of what I can or can't do as a male in my family, right? Like a lot of them weren't necessarily meant in a negative way, but were meant more in a observational way. For example, growing up, one of the narratives was VTuber had a last name, Spanish VTuber last name. A lot of, well, okay, to be fair, Arun is Sanish's canonical last name, Aruinn, for the very first Sanish, who was a bard not a bard, I think a bard, in the short-lived MMO called Shadowbane, was where the first Sanish Arun came from. That's where the OC original Sanish came from. 2002, 3? Shadowbane with his sister Arafella Arun were the first two OCs I ever made, and that is technically my canonical last name. So the Arun family, one of the narratives was, oh, men in the Arun family don't talk about their feelings. They don't express their feelings. And that was kind of like a narrative I grew up with, of like, and it was a narrative not born of like, oh, men in this family don't express their feelings, but more of a narrative of the observed men in this family don't express their feelings. It's like my mom who married into the family, my dad had 2 brothers and a sister. Her observation was like, Arun men don't express their feelings. They don't talk about them. They don't want to talk about them. They're fine not talking about them. Like, not in like a necessarily, maybe, who knows, maybe in a bad way for them. But it's like the two big ones that I had to struggle with are the Arun men don't express their feelings and don't talk about their feelings, don't want to talk about their feelings. That was key. It was they don't want to talk about their feelings, right? And that was more an observational on her part, but her saying it growing up really obviously influenced me as a kid. Like, of course it influenced me as a kid. And it hasn't been until like I started streaming and having chatting streams that I realized that like I want to express my feelings. I want to feel my feelings. I want to have feelings and be okay talking about them. And so part of it is deprogramming that kind of almost innocuous narrative of what does essentially like the heteronormative male expectations in a family where like my mom's a feminist. So it's not even like the patriarchy per se, but it's like my dad's a feminist. So it's like that, like very like a progressive for their age group. Like even like my uncle's gay. He just got married to his partner last weekend. But even for him being queer, expressing like, oh, Arun men don't express their feelings, like, or we don't dress in we don't like color. We only wear like navies and blacks and dark colors. And I'm here realizing now, today, that like none of those things applied to me, but they were a narrative I had in my head that lived with me and influenced how I acted for so long that it's only the last couple of years that I'm actually like breaking free of those thought patterns and voices in my head. And where are we going with this? And so one of them was the topic I was talking about, which I forgot about, was singing. One of the narratives was Arun men we don't dance and we can't sing. That was the narrative. That was the narrative my entire life. I know other people who I've done karaoke with that like talk about singing, like how their family, their parents sing, or their family sing, or they're like, oh, these sort of like this tradition or heritage or whatever. But for me, it was like my family did not sing and I didn't dance. And then it was like, we can't sing and we don't dance. And that has been like, that is deep. That is deep in my head. And so in September 2024, in Vancouver, Canada, going to karaoke for the first time, one, I tried a song that was way too hard. I didn't know very well. First off, doing Arctic Monkey songs, first karaoke, bad choice. Fine. Learn that lesson. But I've done karaoke like every month, every other month since then. And yeah, I has no rhythm, can't sing. So I have this notion that I can't sing. But I've been going to karaoke with my friends. And one, I have been uninvited. Two, I've been trying different types of songs to see what I like and what feels good to sing. And it's not always been a hit. Some things I found I have enjoyed singing have been some more hip-hop-ish, hip-hop rap type songs, or like more almost like fast-paced spoken word. So 21 Pilots has been great. Another one on tip my tongue. Ironically, because my Kamiyoshi loves singing it, Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, Baby No Money has been fantastic for me. I feel like that is right in my wheelhouse. I'm this weekend, I'm doing karaoke where I promised to do Rabbit Hole, and by God, I've been practicing Rabbit Hole like my life depended on it. Sea shanties, Celtic punk. I really like Celtic punk, like Flogging Molly, Franz Ferdinand, Arctic Monkeys, but like the friend group I could go to karaoke with isn't as versed in that genre, and we kind of have like the tacit understanding of like pick karaoke songs other people know. But I have scheduled karaoke with a completely separate friend group in a month, where I know one of them is they're very different music tastes than my normal karaoke group, and so like it's going to be like one of them has seen Flogging Molly on tour, much more Celtic punk, Decemberists, 21 Pilots again. That's one overlap point, and I'm excited for it because I'm like, guys, you guys have mentioned going karaoke separately. I've mentioned going karaoke separately. What if we go to karaoke together? And I scheduled it and I said, fair warning, I can't sing. And thankfully, bless my little heart, my one friend who's been on the stream, who I've had on the stream for playing finals and other games, he said, do you think I can sing? He's like, you know how loud I am just talking. He's like, singing is just me talking, but even louder. Which I'm like, fantastic. It's going to be like, essentially, 4 men, well, 2 men who can't sing but are trying their best. 1 I don't know, but I'm suspecting one of my friends is going to bust out some like crazy deep baritone that is just like amazing. Another friend who I don't know, but I suspect he secretly knows how to sing, and he's been holding back on us for a while. And then like there are 3 wives, and I expect at least 2 of those 3 wives to be fantastic at singing, and 1 to be very enthusiastic and maybe not great, and that's perfect. But if you told me 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that I would be this into karaoke, I'd be like, you're crazy, man. You're crazy, because our Rune men don't sing, right? They don't sing. And that narrative is in my head so long that it took just like me reluctantly getting over some social anxiety and trying it to realize like, I don't fit that narrative. Even though that narrative has been in my head for 20 plus years. And that's been like the last 3 years for me has really been like evaluating a lot of these things and like streaming it. And a lot of ways streaming has helped because of having the virtual avatar has helped me talk about these things a lot. It's that ironic of like having that sock puppet in therapy trope, I'll be honest. And the other narrative that got me was I was in Hawaii with my parents and my uncle and his partner, now husband, a month after that. So this was in October 2024 when I just started streaming, right? I've been streaming for 6 months. And this is my first like long time away from streaming. And I mentioned how difficult to my uncle, my gay uncle. He's been my gay uncle my entire life. Well, I didn't know he was gay my entire life. I just thought he had really close friends, but he was my gay uncle my entire life. My family knew he was gay. And they assumed I knew, but I didn't know. It was a weird thing. I just assumed he had a close friend he wanted to call Aunt Mary, and it's okay that his Aunt Mary was a 6'4" blonde Texan man, who now owns a hair salon in Palm Springs. It's fine. It's fine. So it's that uncle talking how hard it, like I was wearing some like plain clothing, and I mentioned how hard it was for me to find fun and colorful clothes that fit. And he made some comment along the lines of, oh, well, you know, like, Arun men don't wear bright colors. And I'm just like, but I want to. But I want to wear bright colors. I want to wear fun clothes. I want to wear like things that aren't just like boring men's clothes from Target, like Massimo brand clothing from Target. And like, it's a struggle I've been going through. And thinking about talking about this subject brought back like, I had one traumatic experience in eighth grade, where seventh grade, it was seventh grade. Man, it's funny how a lot of your traumas come back to high school and middle school. Seventh grade, where growing up, my mom picked out a lot of my clothes. Happens to all of us. For some of my friends, it still happens. Some of them, it still happens. But the one time I was in Target or Hot Topic or something, and there was this, it was a short sleeve button down shirt. It was blue and it had a sick dragon on it. It was like this full on dragon print. Like it wasn't a Shenron from Dragon Ball Z print, but it was like it was like store brand Shenron from Dragon Ball Z print on this shirt. And I bought it and I convinced I said, Mom, I really want this. And we bought it. And I was so excited for this shirt. I was so excited for it. But I was too socially anxious. I didn't realize I was socially anxious at the time. I didn't realize I had social anxiety until I watched the anime Watamode in like 2017. An anime taught me that I had social anxiety, and that anime is near and dear to my heart and will forever be near and dear to my heart, along with Oregon High School Host Club. But I didn't realize I had social anxiety. But the idea of wearing something different that wasn't like a plain blue sweater or hoodie in middle school terrified me. But I was trying to work up the courage to wear this shirt to middle school. But then one kid showed up into school in that same shirt. And if it was a cool kid, that'd be different. But like in the social pecking hierarchy, there was like the cool kids at the top. There was like everyone else. There was the bullies. There was like me and some of my immediate friends in middle school. And then like 3 people down were the kids who got bullied. And there's 2 of them that got bullied a lot. And like one of those kids showed up in that shirt I wanted to wear. And I saw this kid who got super bullied. It was the 90s. You got bullied a lot in the 90s. It was a terrible time. I don't recommend it to anybody. He got bullied. Like, he didn't get bullied for the shirt, but I saw the kid who got bullied a lot wear that shirt. And I never wore that shirt to school. I never wore that shirt. And part of it was watching that kid get bullied. Part of it was the family narrative about not wearing bright colors, not wearing fun-looking clothing. And from that point forward, I only wore safe clothes. I only wore like heteronormatively safe clothing for years. 4 years, for decades. And I still do. Like my closet is still like, they're like flannels, right? They're like flannels. And like, I've tried a couple tangents to try some things out. I bought some things that like look good on me. Like I've had women say, this looks good on you. You should wear this. But none of them are like, break the heteronormative male well, Pacific Northwest male mold. And it's that's why buying like feminine clothing and trying that on and like taking pictures of it, of myself wearing it, has been kind of like experimenting and breaking that narrative and being like, that's something I've been breaking free of. So doing a karaoke stream is in a similar path of like addressing and like thinking about and working through these internal narrative that got instilled to me at a young age, intentionally or unintentionally, by family or peers or society or patriarchy or however you want to frame it. And so I feel like every year for the last 2 years has been me addressing another set of these expectations. And the painful part to me is I wish I did this sooner, you know? It's the like, I wish, instead of realizing that like, I wish my look and body perception was a little more feminine, not trans or any like that direction, but just more like femboy direction. It's like, if I had realized that 20 years ago, or being aero-ace, I wish I realized that 20 years ago instead of today. Like, I'm happy to be learning about myself and going through this process today. I feel much better with myself, much happier with myself now. But there is that like tinge of sadness of like, why I wish I had this 20 years ago, you know? And that's part of the reason I want to talk, I talk about it on stream, and I want to talk about this stream, is if I can, and part of the reason, like my first note I have right here is, why do I stream? And part of it is, if I can be that person to help somebody who was me 20 years ago, 25 years ago, if I could touch and help and show someone who's 18, 16 years old, 20 years old, that it's okay and they can do this and they can be themselves, and you can have a successful career, you can be a successful person, you can be a happy person 20 years later. One person that way, like if I've been streaming for 5 years and I can help one person, it'll all be worth it. 100% all be worth it. And that's like, I think that's fundamentally why I stream, because I started streaming because I was going through a long-term breakup, a rough time in my life, and there were some streamers who were streaming who were just there, right? It's like that consistent person, like not even like, not parasocially in your life, but someone in your life who you feel like a connection to, that helped me through that tough time in my life. And it's like, if I can help one person, all worth it, right? All the time spent be worth it, by like the money, the time, the effort, everything. And that's why I stream. And that was my first note for what I want to talk about today, was why do I stream? And that's the reason why, because like, I didn't know about these things 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago, 2006, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I didn't know about these things. I didn't know there was options beyond straight and gay, right? I didn't know what aromantic was. I didn't know what aromantic was until a couple of years ago. I didn't know that you could be straight-ish, I guess, I suppose, and want to be femme presenting in some ways on your body, and you can adjust your body to feel better about yourself. I didn't know about that 25 years ago when puberty started. But like, I didn't know I had social anxiety until I watched an anime in 2018. Like, I didn't, or like financial investing, but I knew about that earlier on. Like, if you could help one person like 20 years sooner than I learned about these things on my own, that's why I stream. I think that's the question of why I stream, and why I put myself out there. And I'm like, honestly, exceedingly vulnerable doing it. Like, that's why I don't think about what I talk about when I'm on stream, because if I think too much about it, I'm like, oh shit, that's extremely vulnerable. But also, I do it because, like, I'm in such a position of privilege in my life that I feel incredibly safe doing it. Like, I don't have any worries of, like, oh, coming out as an Airways box boy on the internet as a VTuber. Like, that's not going to impact my career. That's not going to be held against me. That's not going to, like, ruin relationships or friendships at any point in my life. And someone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to dox you and tell your employer that you're doing. It's like, I don't give two shits if you tell my employer that I stream as a box boy on the internet. Like, I don't care. And so, like, it's one small way I can use my position of who I am, my confidence, and where I'm in life to maybe help somebody. And it's, I don't know if it's happened yet. I don't know if it will happen this year, next year, 5 years, but I plan to keep doing it because I enjoy it. And as long as I enjoy it and there's the chance it helps somebody, that's all I need. If I get viewers, if I get subscribers, if I get people who are chatting or whatever, wonderful. That encourages me to keep going, but it's not necessary for me to keep going. And on the 2-year anniversary of streaming, 2-year anniversary, that's what's important to me. 2 year and 2 wine glasses in streaming anniversary at this 3 hours into the stream. That's why I do it. I guess that's why I do it, isn't it? For myself, because I enjoy it. For myself as a form of vlogging and therapy. Let's be honest here. This is really just a therapy vlog of myself as I talk out loud. Just, I'm one small step away from this being a podcast where I say, like, just spitballing here. Just hear me out. Just spitballing some ideas here. Why don't we have sharks on stream more often? Like, I'm one step away from a podcast, and that's fine. But doing it live means I can't edit it, and it's more raw, I guess. And so that was a half-an-hour diverge saying I would like to try to do a karaoke stream this year. As I develop the songs I feel comfortable singing, and I think we're gonna licensing, and then be a brave little fox boy, and try a karaoke stream. It might not be soon. It might be soon. I don't know. Just watch me in my piano streams where I'm trying to do a shitty job singing along to songs I've chosen with lyrics, and then you'll be like, oh, this guy probably shouldn't do a karaoke stream, but I might do one anyway. Why? Seems fun. Because it seems fun. That's why. That's why. Because it seems fun. And then maybe I'll karaoke a Baby No Money song, and I'll tag Baby No Money on Blue Sky that I karaoke'd a song, make that clip, and then Senpai will respond to me. There's the dream. There's the dream. Get a response from Baby No Money on social media. 2026 goal. Seems like a cool guy. Maybe he might. He's worked with VTubers to Iron Mouse. It's not a crazy stretch. It's not a crazy stretch. I could shorten that distance between that 7 degrees, Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees separation between me and Iron Mouse. Just shrink that down, or 7 degrees separation between me and my Kamiyoshi. I think I'm at 2, 3, 4. I'm probably 4 or 5 connections away from Iron Mouse, if I'm being honest, and my Kamiyoshi Mint Phantom, maybe 4. It's mostly like I work in the video game industry. Go to the social media manager of a video game at my company, who probably knows social media manager at video game that has done a collab or something with one of the other major VTubers. That VTuber, Kamiyoshi, Mint Phantom, or Iron Mouse, baby, no money. Easy. It's a pipe dream for this year. We'll see when we get there. Also get better at puppeting and moving around and like controlling things. Also, I got all my toggles I never use. I got my blush toggle, which I should have turned on. I should have turned this on when I hit that second glass of wine. I never use my gloom, fearful, angry toggle. Or my dizzy eyes. Or my sobbing. I love my sobbing emoji. Or my shock. I need to get better at using them. My stream deck's so far away to press the buttons. Maybe I could do the F keys or something and think about it. But I'm gonna wrap things up here. It's been 3 hours. I need to drink a bunch of water. It's 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime. I'm gonna go wrap up, drink water, get ready for bed, and then probably read Reincarnated by the Slime light novel volume 15 in bed on my little e-reader. And then it's Wednesday and not Friday like I thought. So I have work in the morning. Ha ha, it's gonna go great. It's gonna go fine. Let's not think about that or worry about that too deeply. Thank you all for joining me on my 2-year streaming anniversary. Woo, woo, clap, 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 woo, 2 years. Very exciting. Here's to another 2 years. Thank you all for joining me on this journey as we continue forward. We be exceedingly vulnerable on the internet, stream some games, do some karaoke, have a fun time, maybe do some drawing, daily piano practice. So many things we can do, only so much limited time. Thank you for joining. I hope everyone enjoyed it now or in the VOD, and I will see you in the future in an upcoming year. With that, I'm going to say goodbye and good night, everybody.